Yeah, this sport pissing me off. So he forced him off, no investigation, but then Lewis is being investigated for leaving the track. Somebody make this make sense to me. I'm literally confused. This sport doesn't make any goddamn sense. Look where he literally forced him off track. What the heck? He pushed him off track. Where was he supposed? Where was he supposed? He literally. Where was he supposed to go? He literally ran. Yo, I can't deal with this sport, dude. Like, if you're not going to investigate Sainz for forcing him off track, then you can't investigate Lewis. Oh my god, this doesn't make. That's bullshit. So that's yo, I'm done. Yo, I'm glad the season is over because this is absolute nonsense. He forced him off track. He forced him off track. I'm glad this season is over because this is absolute nonsense. Because why should he have given the position back? If he was forced off track, then where was he? He had nowhere else to go. Okay, pass him back now, Lewis. Okay, since that's the case, pass him back, Lewis. I hate this sport. Pass him back now, Lewis. Pass him back now, Lewis.
Thanos, I think you are ahead on the stream, so I think not everybody's watching the same at the same
Okay,
line.
Lewis is back ahead. Thank you, Lewis. Back ahead, back ahead, back ahead. Now let's chase down Carl. Let's chase down Charles now because this is nonsense, dude. You can't. How can you? Yo, I hate this sport. He forced him off track, and then Lewis had to give the position back. Like, how does it make? Sorry, Vern. Yeah, I think I'm way ahead of everybody else. Go on, Vern.
No, I'm just saying that you are ahead on the stream. I think, like
Oh, yeah.
you're like 10, 15 seconds ahead on the stream. So I think you just narrated what's going to happen for me in the future.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you're gonna have to pay me for that, you know. I don't. I'm just gonna stop the free commentary.
Yeah, I think the Red Bull's gone, man. There's
Yeah, of
absolutely no.
course. They're literally gone. I mean, watch. George is going to get past Carlos now. Lewis is going to chase down um
Yeah, I don't think
Sainz.
science has that speed. No, the only way now is
Sorry.
something creative with strategy, but the Red Bulls are straight faster. There's just nothing that you can do against that much speed. They're just walking away, man, at this speed.
Uh, I
They're
don't.
just literally walking away, man. There's nothing that the both of them can do.
George going to drive right round the outside of him. I just don't understand that decision to say Lewis gave the position back because if if if
I think they just safeguarded themselves and gave themselves a free pass.
yeah, because
Let's just fuck with
he
it
drove him
because
off track. If he drove him off
come on.
track, how can you then turn around and say, "Oh, no investigation," and Lewis needs to give the post? Lewis only left the truck because he had nowhere else to go. It was either that or
Yeah, and science, even science in the right now with Russell, he's just in the road. Like he's a roadblock at this point.
Of course, they asked Lewis to
Lewis
give the
just ran
position
wide.
back because it's Lewis. Oh my god. George is very slow.
Sorry.
George is very slow. His car
No,
is not moving today. I don't know
no,
what's happening.
George's pace is. I think Lewis ran off track going into the exit of turn one because he had a second in science and now he's lost that second.
But why was he asked to give the position back though? I don't
What's up
understand
with
that.
there's something wrong with Lewis's car. He has lost us. Yeah, I don't get this.
Ugh, I'm so mad. Lewis's car had a brakes problem the whole weekend. I don't know if they resolved it or it's still the same.
Yeah, Lewis has lost a lot of time, especially to Charles. He's basically
Yeah,
his pace has dropped.
look at that.
Did
Yeah,
he
look at that.
damage?
Charles is
Did
going
he
to
suffer
overtake him
damage
now.
when he with that off track incident? Because he
No,
went from
I don't think so because he did some good laps after those
yeah, but
damages.
he's now suffering. He went from 1.2 seconds behind Charles to now be basically 2.5. Yeah, he ran wide. Yeah, I know. I saw he ran wide
Exactly.
at turn up.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I hate this track, man, and I'm just glad this season is coming to an end. This is the last goddamn race this year.
Same.
Yeah, Lewis,
Same.
something's not right with Lewis's car. He just lost. He's lost basically 1.2 seconds to what's his name, to
Two shell.
Charles.
Yeah.
And now
And that's a
he's
lot.
getting he's going to get passed by Sainz. What's going on? There's
Yeah.
something wrong with his
Look
car.
at his yeah, look at his time. The time is increasing. It's not oh my God.
There's something wrong with his car.
Oh. Shush.
Yeah, and George is going to pass Lewis.
Oh yeah, he will. Oh my God.
There's
And I did
something
not
wrong
want
with
that to
Lewis.
happen
Yeah,
this
George
weekend.
Lewis doesn't have any pace at all. What's going on?
Oh my God. I just hope the car will wake up the last
Yeah,
minute.
there's something wrong with Lewis's car because he's going to get
There.
passed by.
Signs has oh my God. You already passed him. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Lewis's car because he.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
No.
because Lewis basically just lost. Yeah, Lewis, there's something wrong. He's going to get passed by George, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's something wrong with his car. The gap time is increasing. Ah. Oh my God.
Yeah, Lewis' car has suffered some form of damage in that with that off
Oh.
because there's no way he's losing that much space to his
Yeah,
teammate.
he's losing
Something happened to that car. Yeah, because George is going to pass him.
just now in the DRS. Look at
Yeah.
that. And he's getting a toe. George is getting a toe. Look at that. Look, there. Oh
Yeah,
my
there's
God.
some that car has suffered some form of damage.
I cannot, no, this cannot happen 2021 and 2022 in a row. No, not possible.
Yeah,
There you go. Oh my God.
and today's fucking. I don't know why I should watch this race.
Oh my God.
Exactly. I know there's something wrong with his car. That impact basically knocked something out of kilter with his car. There's no way he's
Yeah,
losing. Yeah, there's something happened
yeah,
to his
he's
car.
losing power. Ah,
He's not being caught by Lando.
Imagine land of all the people. This is a shame. Oh my God.
Yo, just park that shit and go home, Lewis. burn. Oh, fucking, or just crash it into a wall and get over and done with.
I know.
What's up, NK?
Yeah, man. It's like over before it even fucking started.
I know.
Fuck.
I
He's
want
losing.
to cry. I
It's that
want to
signs.
cry.
When we went off track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something damaged the car
Yeah.
when that happened.
The car's shit now. The car's fucked.
Oh my god.
Ugh, man. And then you have to hear some son of a bitch alias saying, yeah, but he's got 7. Like the fuck, man.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That's how bad it is. Fuck.
2 years in a row. The same track. Oh my god.
I agree with you, Thanos. You should just park that thing and like we just fuck out of here, man.
He should just crash into a wall and get over and
Or
done
even
with.
better, Verstappen
Yeah.
on his fucking helmet. I'm gonna go and find some beer somewhere. If you guys are still on,
Man.
I'm gonna be tanked. Like I'm depressed.
Ah.
Oh shit.
This is
The
madness, man.
Ugh,
I
man.
mean,
the gap.
he
The
basically
gap.
lost 5. He's now what? 2 seconds behind. He's basically 5 seconds behind Signs.
Ugh.
After
Mm.
yeah, that. Oh god, I
Norris
hate
is
this.
catching up.
I hate this year. God damn it, man. Screw
Oh my
2022.
god.
It sucks.
It sucks.
Absolutely sucks. And I
Shit.
hate Abu Dhabi. Get this track off the calendar because it's absolutely useless. It's probably the
ASAP.
most boring race of the year.
Ugh.
I hate this place.
I'll do anything to get into that W13 and crash into Verstappen right now.
They're both DNF.
Jesus. I'll do
No,
anything right
yeah,
now.
but the problem is you're gonna have to get close to him, or you're gonna get close to
No, it's fine. I'll just go
him.
straight to the
Wait,
Red
are
Bull
you gonna
garage, the pit lane.
are you gonna get close to him, NK? The only way that's gonna happen is unless you pull over to the side and time him on the next lap. So when he's coming by to lap, you just
I'll
it's
just fake a
anyway.
brake failure and go into the Red Bull garage and take all those
That's the
motherfuckers
only way
out.
it's gonna happen, man. Because oh god, I can't wait to see the back of this year, man. Jesus
Oh.
Christ, it's just doesn't make it's just oh my god. Who are you listen? Who's that? Is that
Ocon.
Daisy?
That's
What are you
Ocon.
listening to? Who is he commentary with? Because that sounds like BB the guy I can't remember. Oh.
Thank God it's the last one. I cannot wait for it to end and forget this season existed.
Yeah, Lewis. Just if I was Lewis, I'd just keep running off track and just fuck it. Just give me as much penalties, 5 second penalties as you can dish out, and just get it over and done with. Hold on.
Can you believe we're on lap 13? And it's like,
Only
it's
13. By the time we're getting to like 15, some of us will be dead.
Oh
I'm
god.
just gonna go to the fridge and start my first beer now.
Yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
this car. I
Yeah.
mean,
That guy.
Granted, the car has progressed from what we saw in Bahrain, but it's still the season's over. It's throw it in the dump, man. Just
Oh.
this is I tell you what, this is one car when it goes into Mercedes storage, it's not coming out. They're
Oh
gonna put
no.
it so far at the back of the storage room that you'd need it would take you weeks to find it. They don't want to see this shit again. It just put it some. Look, man. You know what I think?
Hmm?
You know what I think? Just Mercedes should put it on a ship, go to where the
Oh.
Mariana Trench is, and just drop it in there, and just let the Mariana Trench deal with it because it
I,
deserves nothing but that. This is absolute.
exactly.
This is.
Ah.
I pray to God. I pray to God next year. I know next year they won't build something this bad. I'm confident they won't. But Jesus, we didn't deserve
Jeez.
this.
No, we didn't. No,
We
no.
didn't deserve this. We didn't
Mm-mm.
deserve this.
What the hell
But
is this car, man?
at the end of the day, that's the beauty of sports. One day you're
Yeah,
up, the next day you can be down. It's it ebb and flows. But boy, the
yeah.
flow seems like they open the floodgates of a dam.
Hey, but
I,
this was not the right time to be on the low, man. After Abu Dhabi, at least would have gone to a bit high and then come low, go low later. Not now. So this was just bad timing.
what's bad time? It's bad time.
After
We just suck. And Max is driving away from Perez. Like they're pretty much cruising.
yes,
They're not even
look at the
try.
cap.
I don't think they're even trying. They're just cruising because Charles is what 1.3 seconds behind. Oh please,
Um,
they're
uh,
just
and
cruising.
and and the gap between Verstappen and Perez is increasing. Max is technically flying.
The
Oh
Red Bulls are
my
just
god.
cruising out front. It's not even. They're not
Yeah.
even breaking a sweat. I hate this.
Oh shit.
This is a bad year for Formula One. These
It
rules
is.
sucks. The cars sucks. The racing sucks.
Everything sucks.
Formula One needed a quick Mercedes, and not having a quick Mercedes made the season absolute rubbish.
Boring.
Yeah, because Ferrari ain't gonna do. Everybody knows Ferrari is not gonna do anything. So,
Yeah. Ah,
I'm tired. I'm tired.
No, it's okay, Thanos. It's just been a bad year, man.
I
Next
don't
year
need that.
we,
I don't want
yeah.
another bad year. I don't want to go another year. I don't want another year like this.
no. Oh,
Honestly, because
definitely not. No.
man, you can't. Paris can't even see Max. Oh, hold on. Did Paris pit? Oh, he pit.
Oh.
Oh my God, Russell pits.
Hmm.
Oh my God.
We should just park the car.
Yeah.
What?
I think Lewis should just park that car, man.
Uh, dude, we don't want him to park. We want him to set fire to it. When he goes in the garage, Mercedes should have a can of gas and a matches and say, "Do whatever you want with it. We don't care." And just burn. But then again, he has to use it. He has to use it on Tuesday because he's doing the tire test on Tuesday, so he has to use it. But
Yeah.
Jesus, I hope after he just burns that shit.
Oh yeah.
No,
Absolutely. Oh
more
my
like
god.
park the car and go and start the fire in the Red Bull garage.
Yes,
Huh?
because we
Yeah.
do not want. Yeah, we don't.
So is
Not in the
Perez going
Red
to
Bull
get a track
garage.
limit warnings because he just went off track?
Who? Perez.
Yeah. Pass him, Seb. Get past him, Seb. Ah! So are Ferrari going? Let me see if Ferrari are going to use this opportunity to box Charles because Perez is losing time. Oh, they're not going to do it.
No. There you go.
And
There you go,
they
Becky.
didn't pit Charles. See, Ferrari don't have any sense, you know. Ferrari has no goddamn sense.
No, that's just Ferrari.
I wish Mercedes connects Lewis's team radio with our Twitter space so he can listen to us talk. There
Oops!
seems to be
Oh,
nothing
he's
else
gonna get
left
a
for him to
penalty.
do in this race. At least he can listen to us
George is
talk.
gonna get a penalty. George is gonna get a penalty.
Oh my god.
George is gonna get a penalty, unsafe release.
And his pit stop was 5.2 seconds.
Yeah, Mercedes screwed that one. He's definitely
Yeah,
getting a
George is
penalty for
getting.
that.
Yeah, he's getting a definitely getting a pen.
Barbara, I thought you
Oh.
went to the quick stop live. Good thing I didn't go because God Almighty, I would. This would have been torture paying my money to sit and watch this. I would have told Nyasha I want my money back. Good thing I didn't go because I would have demanded my money back for this sort of performance. Nope. Mm-mm.
Oh my god. Couldn't get any
So
worse.
George pit stop was what 5 point something. So that's basically
Yeah,
so
5.2 seconds.
So basically, if they pit Lewis now, Lewis will probably come out ahead of him, but they're not going to do that.
No.
No, it's not enough.
Does
No,
anyone
it's not
here have
enough.
access to Lewis's lap times?
Hold on. Let me see if I can go. No, I don't have. I don't have access to lap time, but his lap times aren't that great.
Okay, so it's not improving,
Let
right?
me see. Let me see.
He said his tires are getting better, but that's about it. Let me see. Okay, let me see timing. Yeah, I've got access to timing. Lewis last up was a 32.0. Fucking hell. The Science and Lewis did a 32.0. Science did a 31.4. Max a
Yeah, okay.
31.5. Perez a 31.4. Lewis is slow. Piss slow.
Right.
Russell did a. Yeah, Lewis is slow.
He's got
He's.
flow damage, probably, I guess.
Man, yeah, man, there's something wrong with his car, man. I can't. It's the only way you can explain his sudden drop of pace because he breezed past signs, and once he breezed past signs, then he just immediately started to go slow again. Something doesn't seem right. But we've not heard any more radio message from him.
Hmm.
Like I said. Oh, thanks. See?
If things
Yeah,
don't improve,
yeah.
I mean,
They said they think the floor is broken. He definitely had damage. There's no way. There's no way that impact didn't cause some form of damage to his car. We saw what happened in Spa. Oh yeah, George got the position now.
oh, 2.3 second pit. Wow.
Yeah, 2.3 was good.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's still behind George though.
that's
Hmm.
right. But
He's even further behind George.
it's so funny how Mercedes just gave a 5 second pit stop to the car that's working fine and gave a 2.3 second pit stop to a car that's broken.
I know this Mercedes is going to throw the whole entire year into the bin and just get over and done with, man.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even participate in the tire test. They should just like
No.
we're going to skip this shit. We're going home. We don't want to drive this shit anymore. Sorry, we're done. We refuse to work with this car any longer. We're done. I just
Right.
for next seriously next year Formula One needs a quick Mercedes. If there's not a quick Mercedes next year, it's gonna be another cakewalk for Max.
Yep. Yeah.
Here's the
I think.
thing though.
Huh?
I do not like I am not so um I don't have faith in Mercedes anymore.
Sorry,
I'm not so
No.
confident, to be honest. No, I'm not so confident about next year.
I didn't not confident on what.
That they will have a competitive car for next year.
Why not?
I just don't feel like they have, understood the car yet because we thought they had, and suddenly this race
Well,
they completely
well, I
shit.
think they have understood because the car has improved drastically since the start of the season. It's won a race. It's been a consistently on the podium. So I don't think it's to say they don't understand. They've clearly stated they understood what their issues were, and they're going. Hopefully, Lewis has said it. Who's this?
Right, but I
Lewis
don't
has
think
said,
it's gonna be.
he's confident that the issues they have this year won't be in next year's car. So let's see.
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
up, Dean?
hopefully we all hope for it, right? Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't feel like
Hey,
we will be back up there next year. But yeah, let's see. It's just me being a pessimist, I guess.
that some
Yo, what's
that
up, Dean?
that TV background or
That was Daisy. I just muted her because it's her background.
okay?
It's Daisy's background. I just muted her again.
Fucking Saints. That guy's never gonna be a fucking world champ.
Look, man, I don't even know what happened. That didn't make any sense to me
That's
because he
bullshit.
pushed
He
him off.
forced them off.
He
He was
pushed him
ahead
off.
of them. He was fucking ahead of them, and of course they
He
don't.
pushed him off track.
He
And
pushed
if
them.
you're not gonna if
Yeah.
you're not gonna investigate signs, then
No,
why does Lewis need to give the position back?
I know. Fuck,
You can say because where was Lewis had nowhere to go. He was literally stuck.
I know. It just never ends.
It's no different. It's no different to what happened last year. And science saying, "Oh, he did the same thing last year with Max." Like, yeah, because the tour you pushed him off track. Where was he meant to go? It's either that or he crashes into you. Which would you prefer?
Yeah, fuck you, Saints. He's always fucking doing that in the first lap. He's an idiot.
Yeah, I told you. I told him George was going to get a penalty.
Did
Unsafe
he get one?
release. Yeah, 5 second unsafe release. He was always going to get a penalty.
Yeah, he's always doing that. That guy needs to calm down.
No, I said George.
Yeah, George. And yeah,
Yeah,
he
but
does
I
that.
think that's on the team though. That's on the pit wall. That's on them.
Yeah, but he can see in his mirror.
Yeah, but they not really because you have what 20 cars around him, so he can't see. He's relying on
Yeah,
them
I
to let
guess.
him
I
go.
guess. I guess so.
So
I've seen
when they
that
let him
happen
go,
with him a lot.
what um,
Yeah.
Lando was coming down the pit lane, so there was nothing, you know.
Yeah, his floor is wrecked. I'm probably gonna turn it off, and I'll see you guys next season. Hopefully, we have a car.
I'm just watching it so I can shit talk because I'm bored.
Yeah, I'm just like I don't want to waste the rest of my Sunday.
Yeah, my Sunday's already. The fact that I even started watching it was a waste of my Sunday was wasted. So
You know, like
might as well.
he was faster than the Ferraris before he went over the curb and wrecked his underneath his
No,
car.
even after he went over the curb, because remember he drove down. He gave the position back,
Yeah,
fell
and he caught
behind,
him.
and chased him, passed him,
Yeah,
and you
right
know.
away. Right away, he passed him.
Okay, so are Ferrari gonna let these two guys race each other?
I want Leclerc to get second in the World Drivers' Championship.
It's not gonna get second anymore. It's
Oh, I
pretty
know.
much a done. I mean, the only way it's gonna happen is unless Perez does something stupid. And right now, they're driving within themselves. They're not even breaking sweat.
I
I hope
know.
someone drives into Science.
Who?
Yeah,
Who's
that's what
gonna do
I'm.
that?
Anyone. Like,
But
where's
no one's
I,
Latifi when you need him?
no one's near him.
Yeah, like Science or something, or his engine blows up. He like
watch
fucked
him.
up on
Watch him.
Sunday
Watch him
afternoon.
take. Watch him take Leclerc out. Watch. He's an idiot.
Yeah,
He's stupid.
yeah.
I mean,
He's a dumb driver.
if he takes Leclerc out, Mercedes finishes second in the championship. Even though I don't want them to
In the
finish second in the
constructor.
championship. No, they wouldn't because they're running what fifth and they're basically fifth and sixth. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's not enough points.
Has Science pitted yet? So they can put hard on
Yeah,
his
he
Hmm?
car
did
by mistake.
already.
What's that?
Because what if Mercedes is purposefully sabotaging their own race so they end up P3 in the championship and get more wind tunnel time for next year?
They're already P3 in the championship. It's not under threat, so they don't need to sabotage their own race, and they're not going to finish P2 because they have two Ferraris ahead of them. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I said
sabotaging the race doesn't really benefit them or in any way, shape, or form. They're already P3.
no. I'm just trying to find out some sort of solace. I'm just searching for that. There
Huh?
is no. I mean, there is literally no explanation for what Mercedes is doing this race. So
What do you mean
I
this
guess
race?
I'm.
I
I
don't get
hate
you.
this
What do you
race.
mean what they're doing in this race?
I mean, they're so shit. I mean, not just the damage that we got. That wasn't Mercedes, but the way they've handled the pit stops, all that sort of thing. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah, but like you said,
Mercedes have lost their edge.
no, they haven't lost their edge. They just had a. I mean, they've just had a bad year. It happens. You can't. I think. I think we've become spoiled by the success
Yeah.
for the success they've had over the last couple of years. This year just look, man. Like I've been saying, it's sport. These things happen. You're not gonna be at the top forever. Some point you're gonna
Makes
fall
sense.
down the ladder. It's unfortunate that it has happened this way, and especially after what happened last year. I think had last year gone how it should have gone with the rules being followed and whatnot, no one would really feel a way about this year's performance. I don't think people would be all that bothered. They'd be like, yeah, whatever. But I think most of the emotions, that we're experiencing is simply because of what happened last year. It's
Yeah,
because of that. Without that, I don't think we'd be that invested. Oh yeah, they're having a bad year. They're having a bad year. It happens. This is what happens when you have regulation changes. Someone's going to get it right. Someone's going to get it wrong. They've gotten all of the previous what 2, 3 regulations right. They made a
hmm,
mistake in their design this year. They have to eat that one. There's not
makes
much more
sense.
we can do. They've just got to eat it, and they're just going to have to come back next year and do better
Yeah, what you say
because they
makes
can do
sense.
better.
Because we were out for revenge. We were talking about revenge at the beginning of the
I was
season,
never
and
talking about revenge
I
because
mean,
what are we
not you in particular, but
revenging? But what? But what? But what are they revenging?
yeah, that's true. But the overall sentiment out there was that we wanted to get that championship back, or blah blah blah, and all of that hype. And as you say, the car this year is shit, and it just
Usher, them waves look fake as fuck, man. Like it didn't call me like something. Usher, fix it here, man. Them waves look fake. Yeah, sorry. Go on, Frederick.
yeah. So yeah, it makes sense. And also, I think we don't deserve this, but I think we need this
Huh?
fall. I mean, this year, this terrible year. I think we need this. Maybe we don't deserve it, but I think we need
Sorry,
this.
repeat that again. I can't hear you properly.
Okay, sorry. I think we need this fall that we are facing this year. I mean, we don't deserve it, but we definitely need it because we need to have a reality check. You know what I mean?
Why we need it? Why they need to have a reality check?
I mean, as you say, we were winning 8 years in a row, and
Yeah, but that don't mean they need a reality check. Why? So winning 8 years in a row is not reality.
not like that. I mean, it's that we would have become haughty, proud, all that sort of thing. We would have been complacent, and a fall like this would wake us up back
Yeah,
again.
I wouldn't go as far as saying they became complacent because you 8 years of success weeds out complacency.
Maybe.
I don't think I'd say they became complacent. They just screwed up. It's as simple as that. They did something. They read the regulations. They did something that they felt would have given them an advantage. It didn't work. Back to the drawing board. Start
Right.
over.
But I'm pretty sure Thanos said W14 is gonna be good, huh? It
Yeah,
it,
I think it will be. I'm confident.
yeah,
I
because
don't.
even yeah,
Yeah,
I'm listening.
because again, like You don't win 8 championships and not know how to build a quick car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they have a bad season doesn't mean they don't know how to build a quick car. They
Yeah, that's
can
true.
build they've demonstrated that 8 years in a row. So,
Yeah.
we've seen, and yes, this season isn't the greatest it's an absolute shit show of a season for them. We all can agree that. But during all that nonsense, we also have to give them credit that they came from, if you compare where they are now to where they were at the beginning, they've made improvements. It's not the it's not the rapid progress we hoped for, but progress is progress, irrespective of how it comes. So they've
Yeah.
made some improvement. The car has gotten better. It's more drivable. It looks like a racing car now. It's just not there as yet, and won't get there because there's limitations to what they can do, given the budget cap and so forth. So now it's now a matter of, okay, they said they know what the issues were. They've identified that there was something wrong from the very first day the car drove after it was unveiled at Silverstone. They knew there was something wrong. So we just have to trust them that they're gonna get it. They're gonna get on top of it. And I listen. I listen to what's being said by the team. I listen to people, and if you listen to someone like Anthony Davidson, what I mean, in quote, I keep going back to it, is talk with Crofty where he said basically, yeah, I'm confident they're going to be back, in as title contenders next year. They're going to be regular, race winners and so on, and I'm cool with that. And I think, I listen to Lewis as well. And if Lewis can come out and say, yeah, he's confident that the issues that they have in this year's car won't be in next year's car, I trust him. That's all I need. I don't need anybody else to validate anything for me other than Lewis.
Yeah, and also Mike did say that they knew immediately after
Yeah,
that testing that
it
something
wasn't
was wrong.
testing. No, they
Yeah.
knew when they did the shakedown at Silverstone that there was
Oh
something
yes.
wrong.
Yeah.
So, so it tells you how. But the bigger problem for them was because of the regulations and the lack of testing. They had to use the season as a live test bed.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh yes, yes. My day has
What
just
happened?
gotten
Is Miss
better.
Verstappen dead?
No, Alonso
I'm not
retiring.
watching the race.
No, Alonso retiring from the race.
Oh, awesome!
Yes.
I wanted that. I'm so happy. That piece of shit.
At least
I'm sitting on the
something
patch
good.
here, so I'm not
At
watching it
least
anymore.
something good has happened today.
Yeah,
Yes. At
100%.
least something good has happened for me today. I can smile a little bit.
And that asshole deserves it.
At least something good has happened. And Lewis looked like his times have stayed. He's coming back at George. He went from over 5 seconds to now 3.9 seconds behind. So I don't know if George is managing his tires or what, but he's definitely on times. He's actually in P6 now. He's not P5 because he has a 5 second penalty. So he's P6 overall. And if the race were to stop, no. But seeing Alonso retire from the race, lovely,
Yeah, isn't that
lovely,
poetic
lovely,
justice?
lovely. Hmm? Yeah, time
Poetic
adjusted.
justice.
Time adjusted. Lewis is P5. George is P6 because he still has the service penalty. And Lewis is coming back at him in terms of pace. Let me see what the last lap time was. George did a wow. Hold on. Point. Hold on. So Lewis basically. Oh shit! Lewis matching the same time as Sainz. Sainz did a 30.5. George a 30.1. Lewis did a 30.1.0. He's actually quicker. The only person ahead of him that's quicker than him on that last lap was actually Leclerc, who did a 29.7. The Red Bulls are doing 30.4, 30.5. Interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna start charging. I'm gonna charge you people for this information. You know, I've kids, but I don't really
Get
feed
ready
my
for the
kids, so I need the money.
fireworks.
Huh?
Get ready for the fireworks. Perez
What
is
fireworks?
complaining he's getting held up by Max.
Really? Is that what you said? I didn't hear
Yeah,
that.
just now.
How is he getting held up?
Behind
He's
you
2
guys, though.
seconds behind him.
That's what this radio just said.
Huh?
Yeah, he's saying he's being held up by Max.
Yeah.
So what? So hold on. So you think Max is gonna let him pass? I don't know why this dude don't learn. Like, don't speak out of turn. Max will slap you on your bottom lip. Don't speak out of turn. Don't ask Max to do. Don't say Max is doing anything to negatively affect you. Know your place, my guy. Know your place.
Speaking of, is Ricardo stupid going back to Red Bull? Was he a moron?
Yes, he is.
Unbelievable.
Yes, he is stupid for going back to Red Bull. I mean, he's going back with his tails between his legs. That's just embarrassing. Sorry, I ain't doing that shit.
Embarrassing. I would, no way I would do that.
That's like going back to your girlfriend who cheated on you with your brother.
Yeah.
No.
That's deep.
Take her back.
But it's true. It's like, why would you go back there? Why would you go back there? Seriously, why would you go back there? I don't. And the thing is, and he's not even, like Varun pointed out, he's not even going back as the reserve driver. He's going back as their demo driver because the reserve driver is Liam Lawson. That's Red Bull's reserve driver, Liam
He's
Lawson.
gonna demo the simulator.
Oh god. Oh god, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
By the way, before I forget, I do not know how to pronounce your name, but
Who?
when I don't know how to pronounce his name, but when you said
Who?
that the guy,
NK?
yeah,
Just
yeah,
call him. Just
yeah.
call him NK.
Oh, NK. Right.
Yeah.
I really love that guy, man. When you said that you had a good news for us, he just went, "Is Verstappen dead?" Man,
Yeah,
I love you, man.
I think if there's any person in this world who hates Max, who dislikes Max more than me, it's NK. I don't think there's anybody that can surpass him.
I don't know. I'm up there.
No, trust me, you don't beat NK. I can guarantee you that. Right now,
on Twitter,
NK,
I don't. On Twitter, I don't.
No, NK
I
would
wish
piss
for
in Max's skull
Verstappen.
if he had. Look,
Yeah.
NK would piss in Max's skull if he had the opportunity to. He'd piss in his skull. NK does not like
that.
that.
Like, I can afford a pit lane ticket. I'm strapping up. Eh? That's the last time. That's the last time you see Max Verstappen. Eh?
Dean, I'm convinced if NK sees Max in person, he'd slap him.
Yeah, he's gone.
I'm confident NK would slap
All right.
Max.
Guys, Lewis just went fastest per sector.
Yeah, I saw that.
I hope, this is what I hope next year, that Max does his usual bullshit and he goes off the track and does a 60G hit into the fucking barrier and his career's over, but he's fine for the rest of his life. That's what he deserves.
You guys are too extreme. You guys are going extreme now, but I'm not going that far, man.
I'm not saying like severely hurt, but just enough to ruin his career, and then he's done.
Yeah,
that's what he deserves.
Truthfully,
more like dead with me. Hey,
truthfully, I'm not going that far. I don't dislike him that much to wish that's a harm on him. So
I've been that far.
I'm not
Since
going
last
that far,
year,
dude.
I'm that far. Trust me.
I am. I don't care.
I am that far.
I want him out of F1. Asshole.
Well, I'm not gonna say I condone that or I want that to happen, but at the same time, I just want Red Bull. I just want them as a team to have that comeuppance and that they're nowhere near as competitive, considering the way they stole their advantage by way of cheating the system last year and getting away with it, and then obviously being the beneficiaries of the most rigged result in racing history last year. And then carrying all that junk into this season as if they're big shots. I just want Lewis and company to come out guns blazing next year with a competitive package and put them in their place like that.
Yeah, I want to see him spin out and crash a couple of times like that because he deserves it. He seems to get away with it. Like
anyway, Lewis pace is actually really good because he's now into the 29s. He's quicker than George by about half more than 6 tenths. George is a
We'll
30.5.
we'll
Lewis is
see
a
what happens.
29.9. Lewis is significant. The only person who was quicker than Lewis on that lap was actually um, Charles, and then Max, Charles. Yeah, Lewis
You
times
look
are
at
actually
first through sixth; they're all basically within a straightaway of each other.
yeah,
Nobody's
because
really
Lewis
pulling.
George did a 30.3, Lewis did a 30.1. So I mean, his times only Charles and
Lewis
Max are
within
actually
two and a
quicker
half
than Lewis.
seconds.
Leclerc is less than 1.5 seconds behind Perez. I hope he passes him.
Sainz is a solid 5 seconds behind Leclerc. I hope he
Hey man,
DNFs.
what did
Sorry,
I miss?
what was that? Was that Varun?
I'm saying, what did I miss? As soon as Lewis's car, there were news of Lewis's car broken. I went out to get pizza. So what did I miss?
Nothing. Alonso retired from the race. So
Oh yeah, I saw.
uh,
What did he crash or what?
no, he just retired. His car gave up the ghost.
Ah,
Car
okay.
says, Car said, because you're leaving, I'm
Now,
not
as soon
finishing
as there
with you.
was
Go
a
away.
rumor, as soon as I saw those pictures of him dropping lap times, I was like, "Oh fuck the shit, man! I'm going out to
Yeah,
get pizza."
yeah. That that
Yeah.
that car, that Alpine car, looked like, dude. No. I'm not finishing the race. I'm not finishing
Oh,
the
oh,
race.
He even
Perez
said it
is leading
last
again.
week that he couldn't wait for it to be over. But there's Perez in for his stop.
Oh, Perez is being an idiot. How? Oh, the problem with Perez is that he doesn't have a second medium, so he does hard, and I think Leclerc will have an extra medium set, so he'll go when he pits, he'll have an extra medium set.
Well,
So
Perez just did his second stop
yeah,
now.
he did his second stop, right? So Leclerc when he pits, he'll have his medium tire and not the hard.
Yeah, but will he have enough pace to get back at Perez? I mean,
I think
they're
he was
only
catching
what?
Perez on equal tires. I think with softer tires, I
Yeah,
think
he
he
was only 1.3 seconds behind.
Mm. So hold on, where's Lewis finding pace in sector? Lewis doing fastest sector one. What's going on?
I I think
No, he's only one. No, he's only 1.9 seconds behind George.
yeah.
What's going on here?
I need Lewis to beat George.
No, he's gonna finish ahead of George in the race.
I want that to happen out of prosperity, but at the same time, it's just, they're not going to stop milking this narrative, even though they're going to keep doing it without context all off season. They've already begun that on this broadcast.
Yeah, but
Sickening.
I think Lewis already in that sense had better pace and was faster in quality throughout the year. So it doesn't really matter. Like there obviously people will try and sell for clicks, but who cares? But for
Max
P5
is
P6,
crying about something. What's he saying? He's whining like a little bitch.
yeah, he's worried about the pace that they're catching behind. He doesn't want to pit again.
Honestly, I got to really wonder about the two stop at this point, especially if there's an advent of the all dreaded safety car right now, because we know Latifi's still out there.
Man,
And
if Latifi crashes again, dude, with pitchforks. Pitchforks is what is needed if Latifi crashes again.
right now, Lewis is
Only
still
Latifi, you
on the
guys. It'll be
charge.
Alpha Tori, their little underlings that'll do something.
We need a safety car now. Where is Latifi when we need him the most?
Oh
We
no,
need a
he only
safety car.
responds to the Red Bull needs of safety car. Max is in lead. There's no need for a safety car.
Oh, for fuck's sake. We need a safety car
because
to close
because
that
you
gap.
remember Saudi, like he crashed as soon as like Charles was in lead. He crashed. He was like, "Yeah, here's the wall. I'm gonna drive into the wall."
Yeah. Ugh. But
Plus,
the gap
plus,
between Russell
Hey,
and
Varun,
Hamilton is
Varun,
reducing. So it's
Varun,
good.
Yeah,
accept this
I
host
think
for me.
Russell.
Varun,
Yeah,
accept this host thing for me. I'm gonna do something. So just control it while I've gone silent. Thanks.
yeah, I think it'll come up. No, I think
Thanks, man.
Lewis will get close. I think, but Perez, I don't know.
Yes,
I think
that's why I
with the
wanted
five
this.
second five with the 5 second penalty, either way, if both are on one stops or both are on two stops, either way, that means Lewis
Yeah,
ends up ahead. In
ahead of
that
George.
like until and unless something stupid happens to the degree that it again denies him, but in most cases, yes. Question. Oh, Ferrari questions. Oh, dude, I'm
Yep,
literally.
Ferrari's up to their alphabets now.
Oh man, it's hilarious how they start their radios or they end their radios with questions that they have to.
Question.
Can you keep up this pace? Question.
Eh,
This is a joke, man.
I feel
Looking
sad
on
for
Russell's
Leclerc.
ass now.
Now,
There's no option to
I would
remove those
actually
earbuds
be
during
very
the race.
interested in what kind of damage was there that the medium tires just like evaporated on Lewis's car for the first stint. Because right now his sector times and his
I don't think
pace is
I don't think
fine.
it was tires. I don't think it was tires. I think
it was his
I
I
no,
flaw.
heard
there
someone
is
say.
something broken on the car because because it was clearly not tires. I think the tires were fine, but because he was pulling time, but there was clearly something broken on the car.
He
Yeah,
said
I
the
mean,
flaw. He said it was the flaw that was broken.
yeah, I mean, Lewis thought that it was a flow, but the guys in the commentary thought that it was the EKG. I think the what do you
Or
call it? The
Russell says if you want to box him first, there's no problem for me. So he's giving
Yeah,
up his priority pass.
yeah. Which is good for Lewis.
No, I think Russell wants that last stint, but I think he doesn't understand that he's overplaying his hand because he's banking on some late safety car or something like that.
Yeah, Russell has all the luck, so he's gonna sit there and roll the dice again.
you know what I mean? Like, um, Latifi doesn't park the car when we want him to, but what has
Exactly.
what has Mick? I mean, what has Haas done for Mick? And him probably being our reserve driver next season, I think he should park for us.
Yeah, you should park for us. Exactly. Exactly.
Nah, but I
Come
think
on, Mick,
like
do it.
I think it's Verstappen and with Leclerc, all of them have extra medium tires. It's Perez who has an extra hard tire.
Yeah.
Leclerc has a medium, or I'm not sure, but just a second. I might look that up because I definitely tweeted about it a few.
Okay, so I heard that initially, with all that fight with Sainz and also the defending against Russell, he lost all of his battery. Lewis lost all of his battery, and that caused his power to drop down, is what I heard, but I'm not sure if that's right.
He lost what?
All the power on his battery.
Oh, Leclerc also has a
Oh
hard
my
tire.
god.
He doesn't have a medium. Wow.
That's why he was losing a lot of time.
Yeah, but I think the battery should have recharged by now.
Yeah, yeah,
That
obviously. I think.
yes. Yeah, because he's closing the gaps now. Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
he's in DRS. He is
yeah.
in DRS now.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't pick up as much damage as we thought.
No, no, but I think that's a different part because him losing power is something different. But when he's reporting a broken floor, that is a very different problem.
Yeah, and also he violated track limits twice after that incident. Did you see that he went wide? I mean, not violated, but
Yeah,
yeah, he went wide, and that
I
surely
think
indicates loss of
whoever has the
downforce.
I'm not sure whose TV is working, but somebody has the TV really loud. Is
Um,
it you?
I that might be
Is
me.
it?
Sorry.
No, I don't know. Either way, yeah, go ahead. What you're saying something?
There you go, safety car.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Oh, it's Latifi again.
Let
Latifi! That's Latifi! It's a Latifi and
There's
a
your
Haas.
safety car. Or there's your yellow flag anyway.
It's Latifi and a Haas. I don't know who is that on the Haas.
clear.
this fucking idiot, bro. This
Oh my.
motherfucking idiot.
Is that Schumacher or Magnussen? I don't know.
Oh man, this idiot. How is it
That was
always him?
In the
that was
same track.
Magnussen.
No,
Wow.
That was Magnussen,
I
wasn't it?
am surprised how he didn't park it because Max
It's
was a lead.
Latifi.
No,
Oh
Max was
my
in
god.
lead, so he tried to get out
Come
of it.
on, Lois. Get him back, Lois.
Come on.
Come on,
Zero.
Lois.
Let's go.
Is it still Latifi's last season?
Yeah.
Yes,
Imagine.
it
It's
is.
a
He's not
miracle he
coming back.
lasted this long.
Well,
Yeah,
his
pay
That
drivers are
dad's
an
he
epidemic, bro.
his dad's
Car
rich.
number
Amazing
11,
transfer.
Perez.
That's what
Track,
she said, wasn't
Perez,
it?
track limits, time deleted. Yeah, let's go. We like to see that.
Latifi's dad's rich, so he
That's
kept him.
Schumacher and Latifi actually, not Magnussen. It's Schumacher.
Oh,
it's
our guy. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Schumacher wants to like give them one last bill before he leaves. He's like,
Yeah.
for one last time, here's the bill.
They
Russell's in the
pitted
pits.
Russell. They pitted Russell first. They should have started with Lewis anyway. That's fine.
No, but Russell has to
All right,
protect that.
George serves his penalty.
Oh yeah, we need him for yeah.
Wow.
No, I think. Oh, so Russell went on to new mediums, and Sainz went on to new hards. I think Ferrari are
I
banking
hope.
on hards than mediums.
Oh yeah, Lewis. He has to be pitted.
So Lewis says he doesn't. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not worth going to a one stop because there's just so much space in the straight line. Like
Hmm.
protecting tires is just stupid because see where Vettel has landed up. He's P12 now. He was like so far high up.
Shush.
Hey, Varun, quick question.
Oh.
Yeah,
It was
Does higher
Schumacher hit Latifi.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it was not Latifi's
Wow.
fault.
That was
Wow.
Mick
Funny enough, it
Schumacher.
was not
Oh my
Latifi's
god.
fault.
There was a crash and Latifi was not at fault. I'm sorry, guys. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for Beast if you were speaking, but
Hey,
oh
that's
my
my
god.
boy, my Canadian
Wow,
boy.
that's amazing.
Oh my god. There was a crash and Latifi was not at fault.
But hey, it's his last race, so he's got to be
Just a little
involved somehow.
synchronized spin in action.
Hey, Varun, quick question.
Yeah.
Uh, Wait, I forgot what I wanted to ask. Just give me a minute here.
Why aren't they pitting Lewis?
I wonder why are
Varun,
they not pitting
Varun,
him?
does Lewis have a new set of mediums?
No, yeah, he has a new set of mediums, yeah.
Hmm. Does he want to go back on the mediums though?
No, but he only has a new set of mediums. He just had one hard, and there is now other used softs. So I don't.
Why don't they
He
pit him now and get him? I mean, it's only 16 laps.
Yeah.
George's stop
yeah,
was
yeah,
what,
he has
three?
to do it like in a couple of laps now because he doesn't want to fall back behind Norris. There has to be a gap to Norris and not Sainz. I think
Mm.
the gap to Norris is not there, so he has to build that
Yeah,
one. But otherwise,
not
he'll
gonna have
just
time
fall
to
back behind.
Yeah,
gain
he's gonna
back
fall
his
back behind
loss.
Norris. Shush.
He won't have time to catch up with his pit stop loss if they keep losing laps for how many laps he has to gain it back. It's got to be now.
Yeah, but George is I mean, George last pit stop was 8.3, 8.8 seconds. When he pitted, before he pitted, the gap was what? Under a second to Lewis. Okay, so
Yeah,
Lewis has what? So Lewis has what? About 8 second margin over him.
Yeah, yeah.
no,
Russell
Yeah, but
got the
yeah,
fastest lap.
yeah, but Lewis has about 8 second margin. They need to get Lewis in. They don't want to give George a couple of laps to eat into that time.
They need to pit him now, or they're going to gamble to
Why
get
is Lewis still doing fastest sector one times? What's going on?
That was the same thing happening to him yesterday during
Sandos.
quali.
I'll
He was
explain.
doing the fastest one sector.
You know what's going on, Sandos? It's the car, man. Don't you know
Sector
that?
one always.
Yeah, yeah. So the question I wanted to ask was, does high downforce, high drag help with tire saving or time management, or is it
Yeah.
low downforce,
The, the
low?
the the way that works out is that once you have a stable contact patch, you're not you're not sliding your car. So instead of uh, you know using your rubber by
So with
scratching it
so if
against the
Lando
asphalt.
pitted with Lando pitting now, Mercedes should pit George Lewis off the next
Yeah,
lap.
yeah. If Lando pits, then they should immediately pit him.
So George, so Lewis has what? Eight. So that's 2:15. So he has a 23. Oh no, no, it's too close.
I
What
think
is
They need to pit him. Like Russell's 24 seconds behind. They keep waiting. He's
what is
not convinced.
Mercedes doing? What
I
are
think
they
they're
doing?
trying for a one stop. That's got to be the only logical explanation to this.
no, not a one stop with 15 laps to go. That's not enough. Because I think
Where?
Leclerc is trying a one stop. Leclerc is not doing two stops.
I don't think we should underestimate James Vowles' stupidity.
No, Leclerc is definitely doing one stop because Leclerc said that if he could keep up the pace in Plan C, and that I think Plan C was one stop.
Ferrari, there. Man, I
They
really
need to pit
feel for
Lewis for
Leclerc.
fuck's sake.
Mm, no, Leclerc actually agreed to the plan, so I don't. You can't feel for him.
They
Like
need to
he
pit
said
Lewis
that he can
because
do it.
George is Lewis is doing okay. Lewis is doing 29.7. George just did a 29.0. Come on, what the fuck?
They should pit Lewis. Lewis, oh my god.
No,
George is
Thanos, can you
40
see
seconds.
Science's lap time?
Okay, so George is 40 seconds behind the leader. Lewis is 16. So Lewis has a 24-second lead. It's a 22-second pit loss.
Oh yeah, it has to be a pit now.
It has to be
Yeah.
now. Lap
They,
or next lap.
Lewis's time is degrading because you can see the gap between him and Leclerc is increasing.
Maybe they're waiting for a safety car.
no, I don't know what they're waiting for, but he could probably go to the end at this with this.
I would really hate it if he pits now and there's a safety car next lap or something. But
Well,
we
Latifi's
can't
already
really count
crashed.
on it,
That
can
that
we?
can't happen.
Will he stay ahead of Russell, you think, if he doesn't pit?
He's still ahead of Russell right now. I think overall
Norris
14
just
and
did the fastest first
No,
sector. Norris is
But
coming back.
there's,
We're losing that
yeah,
window.
he's still even with Russell right now.
yeah, if there's
Yeah,
13
we're losing
laps
that
to
window.
go, and even if Russell gains a second a lap, he's not going to catch him.
Yeah, Russell needs 23 seconds. He can't skate 23
Yeah,
seconds anymore.
yeah,
might as
but
well
what's
keep him
but yeah,
out.
but George
Perez
just
is
did a
catching up.
28.8.
Come
He's
No,
on.
but
eating into that time.
Leclerc also said the same thing, right? Like his engineer said, we'll be overtaken behind before the end of the race.
Perez is going to overtake Lewis now.
He did, but no, but Lewis is behind, basically losing out to George.
Oh my god. Look at that. Just look at that. Look at that. Shit.
Oh my god, that's not even a competition, dude.
Imagine. Look at that. Imagine. And they're refusing to pit
No,
him.
but Lewis gets DRS. He's just gonna keep his pace up.
Pit Lewis now, man, for fuck's
No.
sake.
He needs new tires. Yes, he's
Oh,
taken back
Lewis
the
is gonna
place.
do to Perez what he did to
Yeah, he's taken back the place.
him. Oh
I
my
love
god,
it. I love it.
Lewis is gonna do to Perez what he did to him.
Minister of Defense.
Oh, hi Perez, have fun.
You love to see that.
Oh, you love
Yes,
to see
Lewis.
that.
Poetic justice.
Oh,
And
back
remember,
him
he's
up,
on
boy,
old
back him
tires.
up.
So hold on. What are the,
Oh, little victories, man, little joys in
let me
life.
ask a question. So what are they
And Lewis is on
let me
older
ask you a
tires. Imagine
question.
if
What are
he
they
had new
doing? Are they
tires.
leaving him in these
Ah.
tires or they're gonna put him on the sauce because he can't go into
We're
mediums
not
now?
sure, Jan.
He can't go into mediums because he'll be too slow.
Why can't he go on the
Softs is not
medium?
a
The
race tire. I
medium is
don't
the
think so.
faster
No,
tire right
It'll
now.
not do 2 or 3 laps.
no, but this is
The medium is the faster
yeah.
tire.
They're gonna give him the soft tires.
No, the medium is the bright tire. You can't put him on the soft tire.
Well, from what they were saying, I just heard is that it's too late to put them on the medium tires.
Why is it too late?
That's
There's
what the
12
commentary.
laps to
That's what the guys
go.
because the pit window in it.
Lewis can actually go to the end of the race.
Oh, it's gonna happen again, Thanos. It's gonna happen again. The Lewis Perez thing. Now Perez is staying behind.
I am going to cry.
Lewis can go to the end. It's
Lewis
only
is
12 laps.
Lewis is
Only
helping
12.
Leclerc build
No,
a
but even
decent lead.
Lewis, yeah, but Lewis Terminal said to his mechanics, "Don't
Oh,
keep me on a
Perez is getting a tour
don't
from
keep
this.
me on
There
a
you go.
one stop
He
in it."
can
Oh,
go.
shit.
Lewis, dude, listen, Lewis can go to
Oh.
the end because he's 18 seconds ahead of George with 11 laps to go. George needs to be a second a lap quicker than Lewis.
Oh my god. No, we cannot have 2 Red Bulls on the podium. No, that is not allowed.
What do you mean that is not allowed? They're the fastest car. What are
No.
you talking about?
What?
I do not want 2
What are
Red
you
Bulls
talking
on the
about,
podium.
Anthony?
Well, tough. 2 Red Bulls are going to be on the podium unless one of them crash out and Lewis takes third.
No one's. What are you talking about Red Bull about? What's this? What's this got to do with Red Bull?
No, what's the name was saying about 2 Red Bulls on the podium?
No, but
So, how many laps is there left to go?
Oh my god.
They've got to pit him now.
No, he's
no, I
16.
think the 10 laps
He's
left. You can't
He's
make up
17
22
seconds.
seconds.
George is 17
Yeah,
seconds.
but
I
we're
think he
talking
can
about
hold on.
science, though, innit? Science is what? How many
What about
seconds back?
science?
No, he needs to be on the podium.
They just might as well. It's too late to pay him. They just leave him out now. Why are we talking about science?
No, what I was saying is that why we kept him to do a one stop?
Because I think one stop is still the faster way around.
You think one stop is faster?
With given how it's worked out, with Leclerc doing the same thing, I think just to avoid being overtaken, that's
Well, science is what 9.8 seconds behind him, and 10 laps to go. So,
But science isn't even making an impression on Lewis.
huh?
Science isn't making an impression on Lewis. He's 9.7
Yeah,
behind Lewis.
9.7, 9.6. He's pushing him.
Yeah, but I mean, there's only 10 laps left. He's not
So
really.
what? You don't
You'd
think he can
expect him.
pass him with what the next 10 laps?
You'd expect him to be 10 laps. He needs to be what? Half a second a lap quicker. It doesn't look half a
Well,
second a lap
he's
quicker.
9.5 now,
Yeah,
9.4.
yeah. Oh God Almighty.
Yeah, 9.4. He's closing the gap, bro. I think it was.
He's closing the gap, but he's not closing the gap fast enough. That's the point. He needs to be taking at least a sec. At
Hold
least.
on, what I say? Look, are we? So we'll drop to P6 and back into
They
P5.
just need to leave Lewis. Just leave him out and just finish the race because he has 10 laps to go and he's what?
yeah. And
15,
and
16 seconds ahead of
now I
George.
think other drivers will start hitting traffic.
No. Oh my god, no,
I'm saying
please don't.
Mercedes and their strategies, boy. They need to sort it out next
Sorry?
season.
Luis is asking to stop.
Dude,
He
there's
needs
nothing. What
No, he's
strategy?
just.
They have nothing
I
to
think
play
it,
for, dude.
they'll still be
What
fine. I think.
strategy? There's nothing. What they're fighting for?
What go on, brothers?
What? They could have fought for it. Well, then again,
What are they fighting for, Anthony?
more
What go
constructors
on? What go
points,
on?
innit?
They're not going to finish ahead of Ferrari in the constructors. So what are they fighting for? There's two Ferraris in the points. They're not going to finish ahead of them. Ahead of them.
What go on?
They would have closed the gap a bit, like
George is still 16
yeah, I
seconds
know.
behind Lewis.
Oh,
Who's that?
George is still 16 behind.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's what?
Uh,
It's too late for the safety car as well now, I guess, because
We've gone a whole season without a win, eh?
That's the one.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
he
just
was gonna.
realized it. It just dawned on me now.
No, but I think for the people chasing like Perez, he'll also have to get through traffic like the Leclerc is going through now, and that'll hamper his perform. I think it for people who are chasing like Perez and Sainz, they'll go through the traffic that the people who are defending West are going through right now.
What's up, Dean?
My phone died. They need to keep.
Oh,
They need to
cool.
keep him out. He'll finish under Russell.
Sorry.
Oh, Vettel is not happy. I think.
He's getting smoked by his teammate.
Oh man, they fucked him up one last time, bro.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I just can't
14.
believe it, man. They
So
fucked him up one
George is
last time.
15. George is 15.1 seconds behind us.
And George is
Perez,
definitely faster, but not fast enough.
Yeah,
it's
he
not fast enough. He's only
Lewis out.
so Lewis did a 30 point. Oh yeah, no, George did a 28 and Lewis did a 30.1. That's massive.
How about
I'm actually
Yeah,
getting a headache.
it's still,
Shit.
huh?
I'm getting a headache. I wanted at least Lewis on the podium, if not a win. But
Yeah,
we're not
it was
getting we're
gonna
not
be.
getting any
I
of
think,
that.
I think what happened at the start makes a podium a bit made a podium a bit difficult. So that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 laps. George is 12, 13.1 seconds behind. 8 laps. He needs to be doing. Yeah, he needs more than that.
Yeah, don't pit him. Leave him go. He'll finish ahead
Just
of him.
yeah, just you can't pit him. No, it's too late to pit him. So just leave him
Yeah.
and just let him go to the end. If his tires dies on the last lap, then it dies
Yeah,
on
and I
the
think
last lap.
there's
If he dies, he dies.
Perez has got like what point 0.7 seconds, 0.5 seconds on Leclerc, and they're like 7.5 seconds behind. His team cost him the championship, the P2 in the championship.
The tires are
Yeah.
dropping off.
is
Just
Sainz
Lewis, just drive the shit
faster than
until
us?
it's bald.
Is Sainz faster than us?
Hmm?
Is Sainz faster than Lewis?
Come
Who?
on, Leclerc.
Science.
Yeah,
Sainz.
Science is faster than Lewis, but to a degree, I think he's like 6.8 behind.
It's still 6.4 seconds behind.
No, but the drop off is gonna be huge from
Yeah,
here
but
on.
there's still 7 laps left,
Look,
and
I don't.
Lewis just came
Look,
on saying that the tires are dropping off, and half a
Sure.
second's just now gone.
yeah, well, it drops it. If it dies, it dies.
I
Fuck
don't
it.
think like for P4 and 5 you'd spend that much energy. It's fine either way.
Yeah, he'll still finish ahead of George no matter what if they leave him out. But yeah, right now P4 is looking ominous.
No,
Well,
even I think I don't know where you were getting those lap times from, Thanos, but I don't think Russell was 2 seconds faster. There's not a 21 and 30 gap. Like Russell's a second faster, I think, or half a second faster.
Russell is now 10, still 11, still basically like 12 seconds
He's
behind
12
Lewis.
seconds
George
behind. He's not catching him.
Science is 5.9 with 7 laps. I don't know. Lewis just needs to just drive the shit. If he crashes, he crashes. Fuck it.
No, but with the broken
No, the
car, you
drop
don't
off is
even
gonna
know
be
how the
huge.
mediums would work because the mediums were not happy in the first stint.
Sorry.
With
I
the
mean, I'm
medium,
just saying.
with the medium tire was not happy in the first stint.
Yeah, Science Perez isn't going to catch Charles. It's not enough. It's not doing enough.
Hopefully, but
Remember,
the drop off's gonna be huge as the lap
nah,
progresses.
the
I mean,
drop off won't
No,
be that
it's
huge.
not looking huge. I think Leclerc's lap time was absolutely solid.
Yeah, because
Lewis has lost the
Science
second
the
to
last
Signs in the
last
last
lap
2 laps.
That's what I'm
only
saying. Like,
10.
science is gonna catch him soon, bro. That man's
Dude,
telling me now,
okay, he
bro.
catches him, so what? I mean, it's not that big a deal, is it? I mean, what's he fighting for?
Listen, make him go on a high, regardless of the facts.
How is
Innit?
he
Make
going
him go
out?
on a high,
Finishing
bro.
P4 going out?
No,
He's
I'm
going
saying
out
he's
on
not.
a high?
Listen, of course.
How is that going out on a high? He
Listen,
didn't win
where
a
did he
race
start?
all
He start.
season.
Yeah, I know that's
He
disgusting, but
started P5. He started
oh,
P5.
black and white flag for Lewis Hamilton. Ooh,
So the next one, he gets a time penalty.
yeah. Yeah, he's pushing now because science is trying to eke out the time. Come on, this man, keep that fourth position.
Dude, why are we celebrating fourth?
Need
Why
time.
are we eager for him to finish P4? I don't really care.
Yeah, I know you're not bothered because the season done, but listen, they allow these enthusiastic fans like myself. I met the man finish P4, innit? Man started fifth. He gained a
Oh,
place.
Science is gonna catch up to
Wow.
Hamilton.
Yeah, he is
You
catching,
guys
but
are
I
real
don't
Debbie
think
Downers, aren't you?
it'll be enough by the end of the
Yeah.
race.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like it's
No, I
like
mean
they left him on
he's
this.
just 4 seconds
But
Now,
away.
well,
He's just 4 seconds away,
but
and there
but
are
but
6 more laps left.
apart from Lewis, do you think it's Red Bull who cost Perez second in the championship? Because now, if he was ahead and they were like 2 points ahead,
who
then
cares about Perez being? Who cares about that, Vroon?
Max cost him, man.
Vroon, who
Max cost
cares
him
if?
P2.
Who
Come on.
cares if?
From Brazil.
Who cares if Checo finishes third? Like I said, boy, Checo
no,
needs to
Max
nobody cares.
disqualification
But
cost it, man.
but the way
reevaluate his
that they cared about it,
situation.
if Brazil didn't happen, I think nobody would have cared about P2.
Yeah, well, we all know about Brazil,
But
innit?
I
Like
don't.
I
I
said,
hope it
it
doesn't
is what
happen
it
today.
is.
They cannot
What do you
get
mean it doesn't
everything they
happen
want in this
today?
world.
Oh, now you can see them in the same frame. Leclerc and Perez say 5 seconds behind.
5 seconds. Oh.
And Sainz,
Yeah.
yeah, what's Perez? What's he
Oh.
saying? Let me see. And Perez has got a car in front.
Is that joke on you, or is that Valtteri?
Right, boy. And Hamilton, what? Perez, come on, Hamilton, hanging in there, man.
Oh my God. Lewis is.
Your ego over P4? I
Look,
want you
stop
to
being a
just
Debbie
crash.
Downer, man. What's wrong with you?
No,
Let
just
me
want you
enjoy
to
this
crash that
moment.
shit in the wall. You just need to put it in a wall and get it over and done with.
Oh
And
my.
get on, kick it, and spit on it and say, fuck you, you bastard. And then go home. That's what I want. Ain't
Right,
people.
taking up more time, bro. And Hamilton's what?
Science
Yeah,
is not
mention
going to catch.
the.
Science is going to catch up with Lewis, and Lewis is going to drop back to
It's
P6.
probably going to catch him because it's four.
Yeah.
It's now 2.9
Yeah. And
seconds.
Lewis is going to drop back to P6 on the constructors.
What's Hamilton saying? What's he saying? We should have stopped, man. You see what I'm
Not
saying?
constructors, drivers.
No,
Mercedes they need to
he's
sort
not.
it out next season with their strategy,
Oh
man.
my
Like
god.
seriously, they're on some stupidness this
I mean,
season.
2 years in a row. Two
You know what I'm
years in a row.
saying? 2 years
They're
in a row
leaving
for their
Hamilton out
strategy,
there.
man.
What do you mean 2 years in a row? What happened to the strategy last year?
No,
Oh,
they left him out there.
And he's been
What
telling
happened to his
them.
strategy
Obviously,
last
He's
year?
been telling them to
What
pit
happened
yeah,
to his
him.
obviously he
strategy?
wasn't he
What
yeah.
wasn't
happened to his
Look,
doing
look,
that
look
strategy
at
last
last
year
science,
year?
yet.
boy. Science is there.
What happened to his strategy last year? Because you guys said 2 years in a
Oh
row.
my
What are you
God.
talking about?
Fucking hell.
I mean, they left him to dry out there on old hards. Same thing's happening again. But I
Oh, we're
mean,
not doing that. No,
I
we're
do
not doing.
understand
No,
that
we're
last
not doing
year.
that. We're not doing that.
Yes,
No,
we
we're
are.
not doing. No, we're not gonna do that shit
Yes,
again.
we
No,
are.
no, we're
Admit
not doing
it. We're
that
gonna
shit.
do that. Come on, man.
If we're gonna do that, I'm gonna kick you guys on my space. I'm not having that shit today.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's right.
Yeah, sorry about that, I guess. Sorry.
We're not having that conversation about Abu Dhabi and strategy last year because there was nothing wrong with the strategy. So let's cut that shit out.
Max Loud and Nicky Lauda's son.
They are keeping Hamilton back. This
Fuckers by their
fucking
fucking laps.
nonsense.
For fuck's sake.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. They should have pitted him. Oh, stupidness, man. Leave him out there on them
Look,
tires.
dude. Even if they had pitted Lewis, he would have still been P5. So this
No,
year
he
is
wouldn't. Well,
yes, he
yeah, he would
would
have
have.
been
He would have came
battling
back up.
P5, but like
No,
I'm
he would have
saying
been
to you, like,
P5. He would have been P5. What are you arguing about? He would have been P5 if they had pitted him.
And Perez
yeah,
is
I know,
closing in
yeah,
on
he would have
Leclerc.
been
So if you know
battling.
that, what you are, what's the point?
What do you mean? What's my point? My point is at the present moment.
Oh my
Oh
He's
shit!
God. I am going.
at the
Oh
present
my
Oh
moment he's
God.
god!
P4. He would have been
Lord
P5
Jesus! Look at this!
had they
Look at this!
pitted
Look
him.
at this! Look at this! Man's on his. Look at this! See it there? What's he saying? I lost shift. We ain't. Oh shit! I lost shift. Shifts ain't working
Oh,
properly. Oh, you
oh,
no.
yep.
Oh, you joking? He's out of the
Yeah,
race.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the season. That's all. Yeah, this shit is. Yeah, thank you very
Science.
much. Oh
Science.
well.
Oh my God. Science.
Please, yeah,
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. Stop.
W13. What did I say to you? Yeah, just park it up, Lewis, kick it and spit on it and
Yeah,
say,
there
"Fuck
we
off,
go.
you
Science
bitch."
has overtaken him. We are done. Like,
No, Lewis is retiring from the race.
He's retired from the race.
Well, RIP W13.
oh.
W13, you can go and die now.
Fucking
Yeah, I'm
figures.
just saying,
Fucking
like,
ends like this. Fuck.
Oh my.
thank God. Nah,
You
thank
have
God it's
got to
over.
be fucking kidding me.
No, thank God
Hmm.
it's over.
Ah.
Personally, I would have wanted even Lewis to pack it after the first lap.
What a
Like, just
joke.
pack it and go.
What a joke.
Throw the car in the bin,
You know
fam.
what I'm saying? That's just car in the bin, man. What a
Just
joke.
leave it in Saudi
What
Arabia.
a
Just leave it there.
joke.
Throw it away, man.
That's that car, man.
I hope he rams it into a wall. God.
Yeah, just leave
What
it
a
there.
joke.
Leave it. Burn it and leave
And he
it.
was having and the wickedest thing is he was having issues with car the whole weekend.
Wow.
It's
Throw the
okay, man.
damn thing away.
You know what I'm saying?
Grease it up in kerosene. Get
You know what I'm
every
saying?
member
Bun
of the
it,
team a match
burn
and
it.
just light it ablaze.
Imagine that's a disgrace. That's two DNFs now he's had, you know. What a joke. Look at him. Man's hands in his. Oh, man, you let me down, lads, man. What a disgrace. What a disgrace.
It's okay, man. It's not
What's
no
the
big.
disgrace, Anthony?
What do you
It's
mean,
fine.
what's a disgrace?
What's the
The
disgrace?
flipping car's a disgrace, man.
The
He was
car
having
had a.
issues with the car, and them lot was telling him, nah, they can't see nothing wrong with the
Okay,
car.
so that's
Joe,
the
he was
first.
having issues with the
Yeah,
car earlier on
that was
today,
the
saying loss
first.
of power.
That was the first mechanical DNF all season. What's your point?
No, but
It,
he was
But
having
what?
issues this weekend. He
So
was yes, he was, bro, because he was saying
yeah.
that he's losing lots of
no, but
power.
I think it was about time something broke on that car because that first lap incident was really hard on the car. I think
No,
it
but
is
what I'm
what it
saying
is.
is that from the last
You're not
couple of
saying anything.
races,
You're not
Nah,
saying
he
but
was saying
anything.
that
I
he
don't
had
You're
I
not
lots
don't.
of
saying
power.
anything. You're not saying anything.
Yeah,
You're not
I'm
saying
saying
anything.
something, man.
You're not saying
It's okay,
anything.
man. It's no big deal. I think I think they did enough, and I think
Just burn that car, man.
All
Burn
right,
that car
Perez,
now, man.
fucking not beat him. Come on,
Forget
Leclerc.
doing some test. Forget doing the
Absolutely
test on
amazing,
Tuesday.
man.
Burn the car.
I
Oh,
hope
I think
that
there's
car fucking burns, bro.
one more lap for Perez to attack Leclerc, but I'm not so sure it would be done.
I hope it doesn't.
No, fuck.
Yeah,
I couldn't get any worse than this. My God.
I guess this is a poetic end for
Did I not tell you yesterday that Perez was gonna fuck
for
this
this
up?
season.
Oh my
Did I not
God.
tell you yesterday that Perez? So me, you know, people used to laud for Red Bull for their master stroke strategies. What are they gonna say about this now? Because they literally fucked this up.
Perez
I
went
They
well.
got
guarantee.
they
No,
got they
listen.
got
He
outspot.
may get him on the. Will he get him on the
They get
straight?
no, he won't. He's 1.6 seconds behind.
Perez
That's
went
done. It's
by.
done.
Oh my God. I cannot believe this.
Come on, finish second. Fuck. Come on, Ferrari. Fuck Red Bull.
Yeah, Charles P2 in the championship. Thanks, Charles. At least Red Bull has never finished 1-2
Ex-
in the drivers' championship.
exactly. That was my wish.
Max, you beautiful, beautiful idiot.
I hate that man.
Max is phenomenally destroyed Perez's chance of P2. So wonderful to watch.
I'm just happy Perez is not getting second place because then next year
Mm.
he can be shit towards his teammate
Oh yeah.
Verstappen.
Oh yeah.
That will make for some interesting racing if you think about it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because he needed those points last weekend and his teammate was like, up yours. So now it's game on.
No, so you see now how crucial that race he did
Yes.
last week was
Yes. Fuck you,
because
Perez.
what's that? What's the difference? 3 points between third and second.
Oh,
So that's
he beat him.
yeah, he beat him.
Mm.
Oh, it's epic that he beat him, man. Now the now people would have to ask. Now, was Brazil too far? You know, if
You, you
Brazil
know
that
you you know that Verstappen is
I hate everything.
Yeah, I want to time travel into the future and watch the Mexican Grand Prix next
Oh
year.
yeah, it's gonna be juicy.
Bro, you know that of course it was also payback last year as far as Lewis holding up Sergio Perez this time
Oh,
by
Yeah.
like the Ferrari fans are absolutely thanking
Hmm.
Lewis for that.
Vettel and Ricardo finishing inside the points. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the Ferrari fan base is thanking Lewis big time right now on social media.
Oh,
the what?
and look at the parallels though. Uh, Lewis DNF last year, Perez did the same. So it's like Lewis ruined Perez's chance of P2, and just said, you know what?
Oh
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
is
I'm gonna take
ironic.
off. I'm
That
gonna
is
take off.
ironic.
Oh, this is so shitty,
I'm
but I love
glad
it.
Vettel
They
got
should
into
stop
points in
showing
his last.
Max. I don't like seeing his face. I
No, you know what's needed right now is like when they interview Charles, like Charles says Lewis is a legend for holding Perez up.
yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'll be funny.
Defend like a lion. You remember that line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful stuff. Oh, I just want Lewis to get into Russell's car
Dash
once
that
this is done
30
and go do
fucking
donuts on it.
dash.
It's just so
And
So
why did
it's
it
now,
have to
so
be
now,
sad
Hamilton?
that
Why
Lewis
couldn't
doesn't
it
have
be
a car to do
George?
donuts on.
Ah,
God
donuts
Jesus.
for
so
Vettel.
now that one
Ah.
point, eh? Would if Max would have let Perez by, would he be second?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the bad
Fastest
blood
lap,
continues.
Norris.
This is
Ah,
great.
I have a
okay.
content for Lewis as well. Why is it?
Now he's doing a
Lewis has
donut
had
for
bad,
who? This nigga should get out of this track. I hate him.
Lewis has
I
just
hate
had
him with
bad.
all my life.
Oh, Vettel isn't doing it like Charles and Max are doing it.
Oh, I hate
Yo,
them,
how
boy.
many
I hate
points would
this
have
guy.
Perez gained if Max let him
oh,
through in
hate
Brazil?
is
I
beyond.
hope Max crashes his car during the
Uh,
donut
um,
shot. Come on,
They no,
put it in the wall.
they think Perez, Charles, and Max doing donuts looks like Seb, Lewis, and Alonso doing donuts. No, it
exactly.
doesn't.
They're trying to achieve that, but they will never.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
such a
it doesn't look.
discounted
It doesn't
version
look
of
the
No,
that
it
same.
shit.
doesn't look the same, especially with Max inside there. Ugh.
You know Max is happy, right? Perez got third. You
Yeah,
know
of
deep
course he
down.
is. We all know that.
How many points would have Perez gained in Brazil if Max let him through?
He would have been second, right, in the championship.
No, I'm wondering how many points he would have gotten, like an advantage. Was it 2 points ahead?
Yeah,
And how many? What's the difference between P2 and P3?
3 points.
3 points.
Yeah, man. I'm just glad this season's over.
And
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
a
think
Fucking
long.
Max
farce
letting
of a sport. Unbelievable.
personally,
Yep.
I don't think Max letting Perez through would have done a difference if it ended like this today.
Why couldn't George or
Man.
have a issue, man? Why did it have to be Lewis?
Like
Why?
it speaks volumes also about Max as a teammate that he didn't help his boy out in Brazil when he was racing for virtually nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Max. The
I mean
douchebag.
that speaks volumes about him.
Well, we all know this anyway. You know what I'm saying? We all
No,
know
he's
So,
this.
doing
so
donuts on his own.
Vettel, his last race. I love it.
No, I wouldn't have wanted the top three to do donuts with him anyway. It's even more prophetic that he is doing it on his
Yeah,
own.
I think the image looks better when he's doing it alone and like they're legitimate champions on the track.
Aye.
The-
At least Alonso should have come out to help him.
and do what?
No, Alonso,
Oh,
Alonso started
Alonso
Alonso.
doing it.
retired.
Yeah, I've just remembered.
Alonso and Lewis both retired, so they couldn't come out there with them even if they wanted to.
No, just hop
Yeah.
into the safety car and the medical car and do it, man.
Lewis, get on his scooter out there.
Team just went off.
No,
Is
that's
At
anyone
least
doing
he's.
donuts now?
It was Vettel, but he's done. He's finished doing it.
Did anyone else
At
do it
least
with
he's getting more attention than
Vettel?
Max.
I like his
No,
helmet.
he
Is
did
that
it alone, but first Max, Perez, and Charles did it. But it wasn't very interesting.
Oh my god! I accidentally tweeted that thing as a joke, and people are blowing it up. No, that's not real. This is not real.
What did you tweet?
I tweet Charles to tell Lewis he's a legend, and I'm like, no, this is not real. People have thought it's real. I'm sorry, it's not.
What happened?
So you remember last year when Max was talking about Checo, he's a legend and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said this year that Charles would have said the same thing, and I tweeted it out, and people are thinking it's real. Oh, this is gonna blow up so bad.
If only, if only. But man, yeah, thank
You know
God
what
that
kills it?
and I mean Red Bull got away with cheating from last year and carrying that shit on into this year.
Mm.
You know, yeah, the human error report. I mean, and then this farce of a season with these regulations, with the way that the racing was an absolute embarrassment with the porpoising issue earlier. I mean, just so
the
much about this
flexifloor?
season.
The flexifloor that they gave him
Flexi
like
floor saga,
6
yeah.
races to fix.
And the FIA delaying the enforcement of that by 2 races, which let Red Bull get away with it even more.
It wasn't 2 races. It was like 4 or 5.
No. After I'm talking about when they set the deadline for the French Grand Prix, they moved it back to the Belgian Grand Prix, which was 2 races later.
Yeah, so it gave him 4 races roughly or 5 when they knew about it to fix it instead of right away.
Yeah. I'm just mentioning about the deadline.
Yeah.
When they said the hard deadline originally, it was going to happen at the French Grand Prix for it to be enforced, but they moved it back to the Belgian Grand Prix, which was 2 races later on when they finally did enforce it,
Yeah.
which was wrong.
Well,
Mm.
why wasn't it immediately illegal? Look at Lewis's rear wing off
Exactly.
by like 0.4 millimeter. Like,
Yeah,
like
point
2
two
millimeters.
millimeters,
Yeah.
and that was
Fuck.
because of a broken clasp. That wasn't even
Yeah.
because of Mercedes doing anything to it.
Exactly.
And yeah,
They
they
got
were
rid of.
immediate on that. But when it came to protecting accident crash waiting to happen,
Yep,
that's how they go ahead and treat this.
exactly.
They got rid of
And we,
DAS sooner. The DAS, right? They got rid of that sooner, and that wasn't
No,
even
yeah, they
illegal.
got rid of that, but that was because of a season. But then again, DAS was
Oh, I
totally
wish we
legal
still
at
had
this
the
point.
dust. Oh,
yeah, but that still wouldn't have made a
shit.
difference. That wouldn't have made a difference. Like this season has just been, we've come far, but Lewis has just had the bad luck where it's just like
Oh,
crashed
but
out.
don't do you mean an
Car.
outstanding? Yeah, they've been
Yeah,
cheating
but
all
this is
through.
first.
Shut up.
You know what? When it comes to this
His
season, I
first
can
mechanical
describe this as
issue.
far.
He even told the guy that there's something wrong with the car, and Bond was telling him no, and it's just like your driver's telling you there's something wrong with the car. If he went over and he's damaged up underneath of the floor, that may have had an impact in regard to what happened to his car. Because I know from, is it the last race? He was having brake issues again, what he had before, and he was having loss of power in the last couple of races. And why is it only him having the bad luck? Why can't George have bad luck with the car? Fuck's sake, his first
Oh
season.
shit.
His
Well,
first.
I'll say this much right now. When it comes to this season, I can only characterize this season for Lewis in one way. Because he was, of course, the pack mule doing all the data gathering earlier in the season with the experimental floors and the experimental setups and everything to try and cure the problem of the car, which the team basically knew they already had before it was even unveiled. I can pretty much say this much right now, considering the way that the delta from Mercedes' performance at the beginning of the year and the end of the year came to fruition. If this defeat should open the gateway to many victories, because all that performance gain they had this year from what they did with Lewis's car and how they're going to apply it to the W14 for next season, it should be a much better ride next year with them now understanding full well how to not only cure the problem that they had now, but to maximize on the gains that they made this season with the technological innovations that they came up with in order to get the car back up front to where we're battling with the Ferraris, hanging and challenging the Red Bulls and winning that race, of course, in Brazil last week.
You know what we should do? I hope that car comes in black. I don't want to see it in silver again. I want that car back in black.
Yeah,
I
back
don't
in
want it in.
black.
I only
I
want
don't
it
want it
back
in
in black if it's
silver.
the winner. I only
I
want it
want it
back in
back.
black if it's the winner.
I would rather that car be back in black than it be in silver because, boy, this season has been a trial and error season for Mercedes. Let's just put it that way.
It has been.
It's been a trial and error. You know,
And
this man hasn't even won a race this year, and his teammate has. His teammate has finished every race. Mine's had one mechanical issue. I'm just like, George is one of the most luckiest drivers out there this season when it comes
no
to him
shit.
and Lewis.
No shit.
Luckiest drivers. And this man has fought blood, sweat, and tears to carry this team to this point. And then what happened? Mechanical issue. And he told Bono, there's something wrong with my car. And Bono saying, now the car is fine. How does that work? Your driver's telling you there's something wrong with the car, and you're saying now the car is fine. I don't know what bullshit they're going to come up with afterwards.
So Olin, so what's Bonner supposed to do in that situation?
Huh?
Yeah, nothing he could do.
What's Bonner supposed to do in that situation? Fix it? Explain how
No, not
fix
fix it. But if a
So
man's
then what
telling
you
you
say?
that, no, but hold on one
Yeah,
second,
but
one
telling him,
second.
okay,
If
telling
I'm
him
saying,
something's
hold
wrong.
on, well, Fairness,
No,
one
but you,
second.
no, I'm
If
not
I'm
holding on.
saying to
Because
you
you're
that
talking
there's an
shit.
issue with
You
my
saying
car, what are
him
you going to
telling
tell me?
him,
Yeah, the car's fine.
you telling him that Lewis says there's something wrong with the car, and
Yeah.
Bonner said the car is fine. What you want Bonner to do? What
Admit
exactly
that
can
there's
Bonner do?
something wrong with that. They're
What
looking.
difference does it make?
The man
What difference
turned
does
around and
that
said the
make?
car is fine. If you got an issue,
Bonner,
just say, okay, we're looking
Bonner
into
goes ahead. Okay, so Bonner goes ahead. So Bonner goes ahead and says, yes, Lewis, there's something wrong with the car. What happens then? Are you going to feel much happier now?
Listen,
Does
I
that
would
change?
listen.
Does that change the outcome? No.
No, it doesn't change the
So
No,
then
outcome,
and
but at
what's the
on
least
point?
the flip side, Thanos, I think if you say that everything's fine on the car, right? Like you tell him that everything's fine, you give him back his confidence that everything is going to be fine if he just trusts the car. I don't think that it's going to change anything at that point, man.
His pace picked up when he went on the hard tires. The only cars that were faster than him on the hard tires was Max and Charles. So what the hell are you arguing about Bonner? He said it doesn't really make a difference, does it? If Bonner says yes, there's something wrong with the car. No, there's something wrong with the car. Nothing wrong with the car.
There's been
That had
something
no
wrong
impact
with
on the
that
race.
car from the first race. So yeah, let's just leave it at
no.
that.
What I'm saying is that had to lift, and there was an issue that they had where he had to back off and let Sainz take the position. I can't remember what race because he had an issue with his car. And they said, Lewis, we need you to lift that in coast because
that was Spain.
exactly.
That was round
yeah.
round 5 of 22.
Yeah, that's when he said.
What are we going to Spain? We're going to Spain for. We're talking about Spain for.
You're missing the point. If
you don't have a point.
Hold on. If I'm telling you as a driver there's an issue with my car, aren't you going to say we're going to look into it and say, yeah, the car is fine?
They literally told him that everything seemed fine. Jesus Christ, what are we arguing about? even if they had said yes, there's something wrong with your car, Lewis. What's the point? Is that going to make it what?
Like we weren't coming first, second, or third anyway.
I
So
know we
what's the
weren't coming
point,
first, second,
Anthony?
or third.
Either way you look at it.
Anthony, you're gonna make Thanos pop a vein, man.
Well, he needs to.
Anthony,
Boy, Fred looks happy.
thank God there's no space until next season, okay? Because we've had enough of your Lewis bashing on these spaces, okay? You need to fuck off.
Now, listen. I support my team. You know what I'm saying? I was disappointed. I was like, yes, he's had his incident. He was picking up the pace. Everything was good. And when I saw that now, I was like, he's lost shit. So I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, he's done everything he possibly can for this car. And for him not to finish, I just think, I know it's life. It happens. But why him? Why not his teammate? I'm not wishing nothing bad on George, but
why
George
was it Bottas having all the mechanical issues in 2018? Shit happens.
Yeah, I know shit
It's a
happens, but
mechanical sport. Why
what I'm
wasn't
saying,
Lewis? Why
no,
wasn't Lewis having all the mechanical issues in 2016? Why
On,
wasn't
on
Lewis having all the mechanical issues in
I
2012?
get that.
It's shit happens.
Yeah, I get that, but what I'm saying from what he's done this season in terms of all
Yeah,
the,
but what he's done, it
you know what I'm saying?
doesn't negate the fact
Everything
that
nice.
it's a mechanical sport.
Yeah,
Issues
I
can
know
happen.
yeah,
What
kind of what he's saying is like given all the sacrifice he gave.
exactly that Lewis
it's
done this season.
yes, we
It
know that, but
sucks
you know
what
what?
happened to
I'm
him.
trying to
That's
You know
say,
all
man.
I'm
what?
saying.
Life ain't fair, is it?
Trying to say the sacrifices that he's done. I'd have liked him to finish the race. You know,
Exactly.
I've done
No,
with the car everything in terms of
the
all.
sacrifices he has done, I'd have liked him to win the championship,
Yes,
not finish the
but
race.
see that never happened. I would have just liked him to finish the race. For him to order the
No,
and all
no.
that.
Anthony, we're
The
deleting your
race,
IP
the race
address.
is he finished the
That's
race
it.
exactly how it should finish because that car needs to be thrown in the bin. So what's the point driving it across the finish line? So finish early and just get a head start in
So
throwing it away.
so you guys, given the shit luck he had, you know how everything went wrong, everything went right for Russell. Little golden booties and golden egghead. Karma is gonna fucking bite that fucker back next year, I hope, and he has a fucking disaster season. DNFs, crashes, whatever. It's fucking Max's fucking turn. Everything's gone his way. All the illegitimate fucking bullshit. Next year's the fucking karma year, man.
Well, let's hope so. Like I said, they've got a 10%
He's
reduction.
due karma.
So they've got 10%. You know, 10%. Their win reduction is going to be reduced.
That's almost irrelevant because they've got the foundation of their car laid out already.
No, it's not. You still have racing luck, and karma's gonna fucking bite them.
Well, that's just not something that I'd want to bet on. Honestly, let's just not sit there and think that what they did in punishing that team was anywhere sufficient. I mean, finding an entity that's worth $16 billion, $7 million.
Yeah, joke.
I mean, not even putting it towards their cost cap. You're just going to find the entity who can pay that shit off just at the wink of an eyelash. And
That's
then just giving them an irrelevant amount of wind tunnel time to take away for next season when, like I just said, they've got the foundation of
I
that car
agree.
for this era already laid out.
But what I'm saying is karma's a bitch. What goes around comes around, and it has to come around to those fuckers. It has to. It always does in life. You know that, right?
We'll
Sooner
see.
or
We'll
later,
see what happens, but
back.
I'd rather Mercedes, of course, get their development game going,
I
get to the
agree.
point where they
I'm
apply
not.
what
I'm
they
not.
learned
I'm
this
not.
year into a challenger.
I'm not banking on no goddamn karma. Mercedes are going to build a damn good car
Agree.
next
There's
year,
no such
and we're
thing
going
as
to go.
karma.
And we're going to go and we're going to do the business. End of story.
No, I agree. I want them to win with the development, but I'm also saying karma eventually gets everyone. Okay.
That's true.
2022 F1 season is finished. Throw that shit in the bin. I'm
What
done.
season? What season, man?
Yeah. No shit.
You know what I'm saying? I saw they still got to do testing on Tuesday with the new tires in it. And Lewis was just, I saw his
He said
interview.
after Tuesday he's done with it.
Yeah, after Tuesday, he said, I don't know why I'd agree to that. You know, I'd have just take a gun to that and just.
Yo, quick
Like,
question.
get
Build
the
that
test drive.
W13
Just
with.
get someone
Get
else
the
to do it.
reserve drivers to do that.
Listen,
Anthony, quick question. Do you think this is Hamilton's worst season, or like top two of his career, like, or in
um,
general?
No, I don't think it's
no,
his
I
worst
I
think
think
season, given that
this is
what all things he's been doing. Because I
no.
think
Hold on
there
one
were
second.
other times in his career that where he has those moments where the car was not good and the entire year was spent building a car. There were
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
the
in
thing
general.
is,
The
no, I
combination.
don't think no.
no,
I think it's top three though. It's top three after 09 and 2011. This is
no,
Yeah,
definitely
but you see,
first.
the thing with
just the
no,
sheer effort of going back to the sport that did all that
yeah,
nonsense is immensely big. So in those situations, like I don't think so. It's been the
I think
uh,
luck, the car, the reliability, those three
yeah.
combination it's been a bad year, man. Like he hasn't had the luck, the
yeah,
reliability at some stages,
yeah,
and the car's been an issue
I
like
mean, he hasn't
throughout
had
the
the
whole weekend.
reliability.
yeah. But you
This is his
see, in terms
first
of
mechanical
in
failure of the
09,
season.
he actually won a race in
That's a
09.
fact. This is the first year he won a race.
You know
The
what I'm
first
saying?
year
He
he's
could
won.
have got a dud car in 09 from McLaren
Yeah,
Mercedes.
but the situation with 09 and this is 09, you can spend wherever you want to spend.
Yeah, in '09 you could build around your problem and actually fix your problem in this year. If you're not, then you're not.
Yeah, but yeah, just hopefully, it
No, but
just
this year he had no front rows, no pole positions, no race
always.
wins. So it
Now
adds to it,
there
man.
was one front row in Brazil.
So, who do you think is, your opinions anyway? Who do you think should get driver of the season if there's anything to
Lewis,
change?
Lewis,
Why?
because he had to drive that shit bag.
Honestly, I don't really care. This year is just
Hmm?
Now, is that an opinion? Who do you think is your driver of the season?
Lewis, next.
I'll go Russell.
What?
Man, Russell's had all the luck. Russell's had all the luck this season. I'm
Dude,
sorry.
Russell didn't have to do shit other than just turn up and drive.
You know what I'm saying? He never had to have
Fair
no
enough,
developments in
but
the
I'm
car,
just
no
saying
nothing
he's
on the
been there to
car.
pick it up. You have to be there to get it. So
You know what I'm saying? Lewis has had to do it all, man. You know what I'm saying? He's had to drive that shitbag of a car, make it what it was, make it a bit competitive, for the last couple of races. And yeah, man. But it's a
fair enough.
shame.
I do think that next year if Mercedes are on top, like Russell will definitely be way more competitive than Bottas was.
Cameron,
You know, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be
Cameron,
close if Mercedes are back on top between Russell and Hamilton.
Cameron,
Like, but Hamilton will still
Cameron,
be better.
Cameron. Yesterday in your space, what did I say was gonna happen?
Everything that did happen.
What did I what did I say was gonna happen? Did I not tell you Perez wasn't gonna finish P2 in the championship?
But I think that's mad,
Did I not tell
But Fanas, are we saying that it's Max Verstappen's fault? I don't know. My jury's still out.
No, but
Cameron,
No.
stop defending
I think
Cameron. I
that
beg, stop
not
defending
Yes,
helping.
it's
Mr.
yes.
Verstappen, man.
No, hold on. Cameron, it is Max Verstappen fault because if Max had played ball in Brazil, it would have been an easier situation for Red Bull to
No,
deal with.
Yeah,
no, no,
because
no, no.
they
Wait,
would
wait.
have they would have led from the first, and they would have
Oh,
just covered him
oh,
the entire time. They would have not tried strategy.
hold on with that, Fanas. So I did the calc in real time on my stream that there's 2 points difference between sixth and seventh, and there's 3 points difference between second and third. So ultimately,
That's not the point. If you cover them off, then you can take more risk if
Perez
you
would
are
have
with them.
Cameron.
If
Exactly.
Perez was ahead, right, and both of them crash, at that point Perez wins it, right? So when you go, this is the entire year what we've been talking about last year as well when we talked about Spa. When you have a different outlook towards your last race, then you're prepared to take more risk. If Perez was ahead into the last race, he would have just stood in front of Leclerc all the time and covered his strategy pit stop to pit stop. That's the way to win it. If you're at front, if you're from behind, you have to try something different. That's that's the entire
Exactly.
thing.
V, I don't think I'd contend. You might, you know what, you might be right, but maybe it changes something. This is all hypothetical and
It is
speculation.
hypothetical, but the
But
point is that he lost something and he's
if I can finish my point for a second, it doesn't change anything materially, right? Because going into even if Sergio Checo Perez comes into this race 2 points ahead, changes nothing. You still need to beat Charles Leclerc. They go into the race with
no.
exactly
Yes,
the
You
same.
would
yes,
have just have
Cameron.
to crash.
But this,
You
but
go into the
Cameron.
race with exactly the same mindset that you just need to beat Charles
No, 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 no,
Leclerc.
no,
And
no,
if
no,
and
no,
if,
no.
and if
You
they're
just have to
competing
crash
for
both
third
of
and
them.
second, if they're competing for third and second, V, then you still need to finish in second. It changes nothing.
No,
No,
yes, it does.
I think here is where you're different. Right? At the end of the first stint, Perez was ahead, right? And Perez was 3 seconds ahead. Are you with me so far, right?
Yeah,
No,
go
So
for
go
if
it.
on.
yeah, if Perez was 3 seconds ahead at that point, if Leclerc pits, immediately Perez pits again. If Leclerc pits for a second time, immediately he pits again for the second time. You get to copy their
That was
strategies
payback,
regardless of
baby.
where they are. You get to copy because if he's behind right now, Leclerc could actually stay out and lead the strategy rather than them having to attack. Because if Leclerc wouldn't have done so, then he would have finished behind.
Nah, V.
You get the point,
Nah,
right? Like if he had to chase from
V.
behind, that was a different thing. Because
V.
if
Sadly, V, I'm calling bull
no, no,
feathers on
no,
that because
just let me
points wise,
finish. Okay, just
points
hold on.
wise, points wise, V, it doesn't make a damned bit of difference. The
Yes,
two
it does.
points makes no difference.
That's
Yes, it
not the
does.
point. That's
It
not the
doesn't make
point.
any difference.
Yes, it
It
does.
makes a difference
Cameron,
on the
Cameron,
strategy that you
it
make
makes
for
it
the
easy.
race.
That's
If
what
you are
Varun is
ahead,
saying.
then you copy the strategy of the person behind because that's the only guy that you have to beat.
No,
That's
no.
what, because
See, if
even
they,
if let's say if they were on similar like 1-2 Red Bull and 3-4 Ferrari, and Sainz was pitting to actually overtake Perez, Perez would not have cared as long as he maintains 3 seconds to Leclerc. It
see,
doesn't
catch
matter
this.
if he finishes 2 or 3 or 6 or 7 or 9 or 10, as long as
Bang!
he's ahead of
That's
him.
the difference, V. That's where it's making a difference. If we're competing, if their man find themselves competing for lower positions, that's when it makes a difference numerically, right? But sadly for Checo, they weren't competing, and sadly for your argument, they weren't competing for lower positions. They were competing for second and third. And again, I
Cameron.
revert back to my original point that it doesn't make a damned bit of difference,
It does,
mentality, or
Cameron.
whatever.
Did you
Cameron,
not see
Cameron,
Sochi
hold
last
on,
year
bro.
when they were copying each other's strategies?
Let me try some. Cameron, if they swap position in Brazil, Perez would be coming into this race ahead of Charles on points, right?
2 points. 2 points
Okay.
ahead, Dan.
The difference between P2 and P3 is 3 points, right?
Yeah.
So what Varun is saying is, if Perez starts P2, everything went as normal, and Perez starts P2 today, all he has to do is mimic what Charles does. So if Charles pits, he's already ahead of Charles on the track. So if Charles pits, he pits on the next lap. Simple. Anything Charles does, he mimics him just so he keeps his position ahead of him. That's all.
How hard is it to see? Because if you have the advantage,
because
you have.
he has the advantage in that he has the 2 points. So he has an advantage going in. Neither Charles' advantage was he's ahead because he has more wins. That's it. But if Perez went into the race with a 2-point lead, Perez can afford to say, okay, I'm racing Charles, so I can just mimic whatever Charles does on track. Charles pits before me, I pit. Or I can pit before Charles, knowing Charles is going to pit, I still retain my position. But that's not what happened.
Hey, see, I'm just saying that we've already watched this last year when there were 2 people equal on points. The person ahead always can take more risks. If there were like, let's say there were both those cars were even on pace and they were going to compete for the same piece of the track, Charles would have driven Perez to the edge of the track and further, and saying that I don't care if both the cars crash. Let's have a crash. Who's gonna finish ahead? You
Yeah, but
didn't
you
see
guys,
this.
what
You
you
didn't
guys are
see this in Saudi and in Abu Dhabi, because at all times the person ahead is more eager to crash because his appetite for risk is higher. If you do
yeah,
not go ahead, if you do not go with that, if Perez went with the advantage, he would have been the same asshole and he would just drive into Leclerc. I don't care. You're not going to finish
Look,
P2 if both of us crash.
for the
Let's
first
save your
time,
car.
Ferrari out strategy Red Bull.
Yeah,
It's
and
simple as that.
nobody's gonna go after Hannah Schmidt right now because like she did a shit strategy. The one stop was the way to go, and their own car did the one stop perfectly fine.
Because Max did one stop, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and nobody's gonna go after Hannah right now because I don't know, she's immune of criticism, and James Wows need to be
George did
hanged.
one stop. George did one stop.
George did 2 stops.
2 stops. Yeah, 2.
Lewis on 1 was also going to beat Sainz if there wasn't an issue,
Yeah.
because the traffic was there in the end. It was marginal, but the traffic would have helped him.
So Cameron, Red Bull.
Thanos. You know what, Thanos? You've put something else into the mix that I hadn't considered. The fact that Charles will have won on countback, but nevertheless, man, I think it's still because they're competing for second and third. It ultimately doesn't make a difference, right? They're still going to do the same strategies. And my guy Raymaker's just dropped me a message. You want to consider the other variables, right? Let's not boil it down too simplistically to its lowest common denominator. Let's not forget about the 73.3% chance of safety car if you are odds makers, undercut, overcut strategy. There's all various different things in there. So I think overall, what we're talking about is semantics for the most part. Ultimately, because we're dealing with second and third, it doesn't make a difference. If they're competing for fourth and fifth, cool. I'm deferring to what V's talking about every time. That theory stands true. But we're dealing with second and third. Ultimately, Brazil would have made a difference.
So Cameron, I think second and third, fourth and fifth, seventh and eighth, safety car or no safety car, like Thanos said, if you have a faster car and you're competing with a car behind, on the same strategy, you can always just if there was a safety car right at that point of time, right, and any of these cases, if all of those cars goes to pit and all of them come out, they'll still be ahead, right? And in all of those situations, what they are competing for, that they'll always have an ability to mimic what the person behind is doing because of their gaps, right? A 3 second gap is enough for to protect from the undercut. So if they pit on lap 14, you pit on lap 15. As simple as
It's
that.
simple.
Because
You just
yeah,
mirror
because
because
they're
Perez
not
had the
competing with anyone else. Let's say Leclerc's strategy was a four stop, right? The worst strategy possible. Perez, if he just keeps copying him and they both end up ninth and 10th, he would still be ahead in the championship. They both end up sixth and seventh, Perez would still be ahead if they just keep copying them.
So wait
That's
there, V. Let me play back to you something then. So you're saying that they wouldn't have effected the same strategy had Perez gained the sixth place in Brazil. You're saying that Red Bull would have done something different and played defense, even though
yes,
the points difference
obviously.
would have made no
yes,
difference.
yes.
No,
They would have. They would have.
we're gonna
They'd have done.
have to agree to
But
disagree with that on that front.
but why would they play any? Why would they go on the offensive if they've already got the lead? It's Mac. It would have
Because
been
it looked
it would have
because
been
the answer to your question.
Cameron.
Thanos,
It would
but
have.
I can answer that question super quickly, Thanos, and then you go because I don't want to hog up your space. The reason why they can't is because ultimately the difference between second and third is 3 points greater than the 2 points that Checo Perez would have gained had he been in sixth at
Yeah,
Brazil last week. That's
yeah,
why.
but Cameron, he would have come into this race 2 points ahead of Charles. So their strategy, Red Bull's strategy, would have been much easier. Get Perez in front of Charles, and we mirror anything that Charles does. If Charles pits before Perez, we pit Charles on the next lap, and then we run the race and just watch what Charles does. If Charles is going to go for a one stop, we go for a one stop as well. If he goes two, we're going two. It's a matter of just mirroring him because you already have the advantage over him. So you can't you can't do anything that would give him an advantage that
No,
he
so
can
so listen
he
here.
can
So if there was a scenario where Perez is ahead, Charles and Perez are on one stop, and Carlos tries the faster two stop and gains the position and gets P2 and moves Perez and Charles down to P3 and 4, Perez is still ahead. Let's say both Mercedes also do the same and they beat the Red Bull and the Ferrari and they end up P5 and 6. That's still Perez ahead. You just have to do exactly what he has done and you'll always end up ahead.
Yeah, no, I think we're discounting too many of the variables, especially in this race. There was a reason they stopped Checo for that extra stuff, right? Because they saw that Charles was gonna nyam him, was gonna have his
No, it was
breakfast. But
Sainz first. Sainz came out first. It was
no,
Sainz was going to
but
get Perez, and then they stopped him. Leclerc came out afterwards.
yeah, but I'm talking about the delta between Leclerc and Checo, right? There's a
Yeah.
reason why they stopped Checo an extra time because they saw that on like for like strategy that Charles Leclerc was gonna have his
No,
breakfast. So I think you
because
guys
it
are being
wasn't
too
like for
simplistic.
like. You see when they pitted the first time, they
Yeah,
didn't
so
pit
they
on the
did.
same lap, or they pitted like 6 laps difference between them, 4 or 6 laps. I'm not sure because they were copying Carlos and not Leclerc. Carlos pitted first, and Perez saw that and pitted again. And then Leclerc went long and pitted the next time, which gave him enough tires at the end. They were looking at the wrong Ferrari. Come on, man. They made a
think,
mistake. They made
V,
a genuine
I think, why would they wait there, V? Why would they be covering off? Science can't win the second. I disagree. You know, V, at this point, because there's other people that want to chat in fantasy space, I'm gonna say, listen, we need to agree.
No, but just find out the pit strategy.
If I can finish my point a second without being over talked in the space. If they're competing for less than second or third, I would agree with you completely. Because they're competing for second and third, and the points difference between those positions is 3 greater than the 2 that Sergio Checo Perez would have gained had Max seeded team 6th position in Brazil. I have the logic to me in my mind, my very nutty mind. I have to disagree with you. I think your logic is flawed.
Yeah, but Cameron,
Thanks, Thanos.
You keep saying the 2 points is less than the 3 points between second and third. That is not that is irrelevant in the whole grand scheme of thing. If Max had given up the position and Perez had the 2 points, Perez would have come into this race 2 points ahead, qualified ahead of Charles, and then mirrors anything Charles does. So even if Ferrari pitted Sainz first and he's going to lose position to Sainz, okay, fine, lose position to Sainz, but he's not going to lose position to Charles because he's racing against Charles. He doesn't want to give up those 2 points against Charles. But Red Bull screwed up the strategy. And like Varun said, they reacted to Carlos rather than reacted to Charles. And that's where they lost him the position. Because all they had to do was just run him as long as Charles stays out, you're staying out, Perez. It's that simple. Charles pits, box the next lap. You come back out, you retain position, you do the same thing over again. But they didn't do that. They reacted to what Sainz did, and Red Bull and Ferrari went, okay, they took the bait. We're going long. We're going to the end of the race, Charles. Can you do it? He did it.
So Thanos, I agree with like 80% of what you've just said, right? That absolutely Red Bull screwed up the strategy. But what I want to reiterate as far as points, the proposition for Red Bull and Checo doesn't change irrespective of what Max does in Brazil. The 2 points is absolutely irrelevant in this. Absolutely.
How can it be relevant, Cameron, when he's going to come into the championship, into the final race of the championship leading? How is it irrelevant?
Because they were fighting. Ultimately, the way that this race played out is they were fighting. Sack off the count back, right?
Cameron, they weren't fighting for P2, you know. They weren't theoretically. They're not fighting for P2. They're fighting to see who finishes ahead of who because they were level on points. So it doesn't matter if they were fighting for P9 or P10. The point.
No, as far as Thanos, 1 second.
Let me finish.
Yeah, true. Go for it.
It doesn't matter because they came in level on points. So if Perez finished P9 and Charles finished P10, Perez wins, finishes P2 in the championship. So their overall fight wasn't so much about who will finish second on the podium to oppose who's finished third. It's a matter of who is going to finish ahead of who in the points, whether it be second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way down to 10. The point is for Perez to finish second in the championship, he needed to finish ahead of Charles. It's that simple. And it's the same thing for Charles. But if you had a 2-point lead coming into the final race, you can afford to go, okay, let's play a mirror strategy with Ferrari. It's that simple. So you cannot say that if he had gotten the 2 points coming into this race, it would have been irrelevant. How can it be relevant when he's coming into the final race, leading on points, not on count back, or that now requires him to actually definitely needing to beat Charles on the road?
The thing is
Thanos again. I hear your point, Thanos. You know what? You're convincing me nearly, man. But just because of the way they ended up again, in my mathematical mind, if I put on my accounting cap, second and third, 3 is greater than 2. So I hear what you're saying about the strategy, and that might have given them more flexibility to count back. That's the problem. That's a piece of information that I haven't accounted for.
That's the problem, Cameron. You're just looking at what the points gap is between second and third. That's irrelevant. The overall point is for Perez to finish second in the championship, he just needed to score a point more than Charles. Just
Thanos,
one.
can I say
Not
something
2.
here?
No, let me finish. Not 1, not 2, not 3. He just needed 1 point more than Charles, and he would have finished P2 in the championship. That's all. So if he had come into the race again with that 2-point cushion he had, he would have made their strategy an easier strategy to run with, simply by saying, let's mirror whatever Charles was. And that's exactly what they should have even done today. The moment Perez had track position, okay, you have track position is king. You don't give up track position, especially in a place like a track like this. Your main goal, you'd rather keep track position and give it up because it's a difficult place to race at. It's difficult to overtake, irrespective of what changes they've made. So all they had to do today was just mirror Charles. They took the bait by Ferrari pitting Sainz first, and that's where their mistake was. The 3 points between second and third is irrelevant. It's just a matter of, because they could have finished P9 and P10. Perez P9, Perez wins by a point, because it's 2 points to a point. He wins by a point. He just needed to make sure he scored 1 point more than Charles. That's
Thanos, I agree, and I'm going to make this my last point because I'm holding up your thing, Thanos. But I agree with you as far as it is irrelevant as far as the ultimate outcome. It is the way that things panned out. But if we're talking about culpability and want to start pointing fingers at Max Verstappen, then it's no longer relevant because, again, simple maths, my very nutty accounting brain, 3 is greater than 2. Thanos, I'll leave you to it, big man. You got people in there.
Okay, never. But again, Cameron, you still have to get those 3 points. Perez would have had 2 points, so Charles would have needed 3 points to beat him. If Perez, so you see my point. So if coming into this race, if Perez had those 2 points, Charles would have needed 3 points to beat Perez. 3 points, right?
But that's what he's got.
Perez only needed a point.
So, Stanos, let me just play back. I'm trying to understand your point. So you're saying, yeah, that if Checo Perez comes into this race 2 points in, that things don't play, that Red Bull make different strategic decisions to the ones that they ultimately did, because it allows them more wiggle room to play defense.
Because they have 2 points to protect, so they can play defense by saying, okay, we'll do everything that Charles does. We're going to mirror what Charles does. Let's ignore Carlos. So if it means if it means they see P2 and they finish 3-4, Perez still finished P2 because he's going to finish ahead of Charles. He has that cushion that he can use to play with. They didn't have a cushion, so they had they had to be a bit more be somewhat offensive, but they screwed it up. They literally screwed it up by reacting to the wrong Ferrari.
But Thanos, let me play back to you. I'm not quite sure. Again, this might be me being completely stupid here, but I'm not sure what Carlos Sainz has to do with it, right? Whether or not Checo Perez has 2 points or 0 points advantage. If you're looking to beat, you ultimately need to beat Charles Leclerc. And if you're looking to play defense and just beat Charles Leclerc, then you still mirror his strategy, or not? Am I missing something?
Yes, because it's Charles you want to finish ahead of Charles, not Carlos. So that's the point we're trying to make. Red Bull reacted to what Ferrari did with Carlos.
I'll give you an example. Thanos, rewatch Sochi 2021, and that was not a race for Max against anyone else on the grid. People were starting from the end of the grid. It was not a competition for anyone else because Red Bull did one thing, and they looked at Lewis and said, Lewis is pitting, we pit the next lap. Lewis is pitting right now because we're behind, we're pitting the same lap. That's how they got P2, because said it does not matter what anyone else on the track is doing. There's one guy we need to beat. They've done this strategy in the past and it works. It literally does work.
You can even go back to what do you call it? 2014, Lewis and Rosberg. Lewis went into the championship with a points lead, but what they did, they mirrored everything Rosberg did in that race. Because you're protecting what you already have. You already have 2 points in the bag. Charles didn't have those 2 points, Cameron, so he's going to have to get 3 points. And it's harder to get 3 points than it is to get 1.
So Thanos, you know what, big man? I think you're giving Red Bull a bit too much credit. I don't think they made the strategic mistake because of the 2 points that they didn't have. Because the 2 points, again, if you're playing out this, how the race played out, the 2 points is irrelevant. The strategy, Carlos Sainz told them to.
The strategy was
watch this,
wrong,
Thanos, very quickly. That's the point that I'm trying to
No, no, no,
make.
no,
So that's why
no,
we can't
no,
look at
no,
Max Verstappen last
no.
race and say, well, he played a part in this. Because Checo Perez started ahead of Charles Leclerc. And if they wanted to pursue that strategy, everything, all other variables being equal, because that's what we're assuming here, tire deck and all them things, because I think
Yeah,
they would have been
but
looking at
Cameron, but
those and factored
that's
those into the strategy, Thanos. However, look, if they wanted to do that strategy that you're talking about, the 2 points is completely irrelevant because Checo Perez starts in front, assuming tire deck and all them things is equal. Why don't they can still play your defensive strategy because
but they didn't
Checo
do that
Perez
because
starts
they
ahead
didn't.
of Charles
But they did.
Leclerc. They don't need to.
But
They
they
don't
didn't
need to
do that.
business for science. They don't exactly, but they didn't
But
do
they
it
did. Why didn't they do that? But they
not
didn't do
because
it
of
because they
Max. Not
reacted to signs.
but that.
They
But
pitted
that's
Perez before. They pitted Perez before Charles.
And Thanos, what I'm saying to you is in reacting to science, that's the strategic mistake that Anna Schmidt and Red Bull have made.
So then how you? So
But
then
that, but
how
that's
you
not
gonna
but
say
that's
we
not
can't
because
give them?
but Thanos, what we can't do in my simple, very nutty accounting brain, we can't attribute that decision making process to Red Bull and Checo Perez not having the 2 points that Max Verstappen didn't give them in Brazil last weekend. That's not that. We can't
We're
attribute
not
it to that.
we're
That's
not
just as
attribute we're not attributing we're not the word to that 2 points. But what we're saying is if he had the 2 points, it's an easier strategy to work with for them because they have the points in the bag. They have the points in the bag, so they can plan differently. They screwed up because with the 2 points in the bag, they wouldn't have reacted to signs. They would have just like left him like, yeah, so, okay, we lose position to signs. But what we actually are after is we want that 1-2 finish for the team. So if it means we drop a position, just as long as he's in front of Charles, that's all that matters. They messed up the strategy. It's that simple. We can't no not there's no other way to word it. They screwed up and they cost it.
that's it, Fanas. I agree. That's the headline, and that's what you take forward. I on my stream, I was looking at Max. I looked at Max, and I really wanted to blame him for what happened in Brazil. I'm not sure I can. I think if you're looking to blame Max for anything, I think not taking your foot off the pedal and not backing up
The fact,
Charles Leclerc. You
the
can
fact,
argue whether the DRS and all that other foolishness, but that for me is more flagrant than
no,
what happened in Brazil
the fact
potentially.
that Perez now finishes P3 in the championship, where tells you that Max's decision was the key factor in this whole thing. That's it. You have to blame Max because if he had done differently, done what was instructed, it would have been Red Bull probably would have looked at the whole thing differently.
Well, Vanos, we're going to have to agree to disagree. I think he might have been more egregious today as far as determining which way the vice championship went than he was in Brazil. But you know what, Vanos, I'm going to stop talking, big man, because you got hands up and I'm going to hold up your thing. But good conversation, bro.
All right, cool. Sid, go on. What's up, Sid? Sid.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Where did Varun go? Yeah, go on.
I think he had enough of that argument. I think he dropped. No, I just want to say if Cameron is using his accounting mathematical brain here, I guess he would want to look into a concept which is called as probability. Because when you are in the lead, obviously you are not the one who has to put in some kind of a surprise strategy. You are in control of what you need to do. The thing is, if Perez was 2 points ahead, then it was Ferrari and Charles's move to play something maybe out of the box and surprise Red Bull and jump Perez. If Perez was 2 points ahead, they would have exactly what Thanos and Varun is trying to say, that they would have just mimicked every move what Perez made. Perez would have put for maybe a medium tire on the next lap. Charles would have put for a medium tire on the next lap. Perez would have done the same thing. Then Charles would have put for a hard tire. Perez would have done the same thing on the next lap. And then similarly, if Charles would have tried to go with a very extreme strategy with going for a soft in with 5 to 6 laps left, Perez would have done the same thing. The point is, it was Ferrari who should have done something out of the box. But since Perez was behind Charles in the championship, it was Red Bull's move to do something out of the ordinary and try to jump Leclerc. Now you are saying that Perez was P2 during the start, and of course he got a good start. But then what happened is Ferrari decided to use Carlos as a way to distract Red Bull. They pitted Carlos, and of course I think we can both agree, we have seen this again today, how other drivers are known to hold up certain drivers when they are racing. Again, I think Checo did it last year with Lewis. Today Lewis did it with Checo.
Today,
So
Lewis is Minister of Defense.
yeah. So we know very well how your teammates are very good in helping your teammates holding up other people. So when I talk about probability, there was a probability building up where Carlos could have gained a position over Perez, and he could have just hold up Perez. So a track position was key. And if Perez was ahead of Charles in the championship, then it would have been Ferrari who would have been maybe more, they would have been the ones to make all the moves and all the out of the box thinking and etc., and not Red Bull. That's my case on this.
That
Oh,
Thanos, can I come back super quickly, bro? Because again, I
all
don't
right,
want to
go on.
hold the thing. Even as I'm thinking and I'm playing it through, 73.3% of the time at that race, we get a safety car right. So with that in mind, and with 2021 Abu Dhabi fresh in mind, I think you guys are being a bit harsh on Red Bull for doing the strategy that they did with Checo Perez. If there is a safety car, Charles is blown out the water. Checo Nyams is supper. So I think you're being a bit harsh on Red Bull, and
If there's a safety
If
car,
there's a
Charles
safe
gets a
no,
free pit stop.
not yeah, Thanos. If there's a safety car, then the one stop wins out, right? Easily because he's ahead on the track.
well, it depends, Fee, on when the safety car comes out, right? If it happens during that final stint and Checo's on 10 lap younger hard compound tires, then we get Abu Dhabi 2021 all
No, but
over
if
again.
he's ahead, then if Checo at again depends, right? If he was 11 seconds ahead, he would have just pitted and retained his grid position. If safety car comes out when Perez has already pitted and Leclerc has not, then probably he wins out again. If safety car comes out immediately after Leclerc has pitted and Perez has also pitted, then you don't see him pitting again, right?
I
If
mean,
he's
that's the
ahead
case, right?
at
Where was
so
the championship lost? Was it lost because of the safety car, or was it a normal racing? That's where we want to think about.
No, I still think that given all the like, if you're thinking about safety cars, then you have to think about each and every lap. Does this lap actually win you back the safety car? Because
No,
if
I
you were,
agree. I agree with you. I agree with you completely.
no, if you're ahead on the safety car lines as well, right? When Perez in all situations, apart from the one where he has to make the decision first, like Lewis last year, and all things considered equal, you have to stay out if your finish is not going to be under safety car. And if you think about Perez back again for the last stint, if Perez was going to pit again and then get new tires, then he would have to make up 11 seconds, which probably doesn't work out. In
All
a VSC, in a safety car, they bunch all of them up.
right, okay, cool. All right, I'm moving on. E, what's up? All right, the Rogue One, what's up? Because he ain't saying shit. What's up?
Okay. My take on this one is Red Bull as a team messed up completely from Brazil to today. Because
Yep.
basically, for me, on the first pit stop, that undercut that was there between Max and Perez, Max should have allowed Perez onto the front so that he had more free running space of free clean air. And then Max became this buffer between him and Leclerc. I think Perez would not have had those tire issues or running into that turbulence that was coming off Max. That way, Red Bull was going to secure a 1-2 on the driver's standing. And when it came to maybe Max going ahead, if you wanted his record, I think that buffer being there, that would have because if Perez with clean air and was just running, plain and straight, that would have forced Ferrari into a strategy mistake. Because Ferrari would now be thinking, how do we jump Max, who is in between, because Max today had to be the Minister of Defense. He had to play the buffer, but he didn't play the buffer. So the mistake carried over from last week, like from Brazil, where he should have given that place back, and they had 2 points to work with on strategy. That was the first mistake. The second mistake was, yes, Max could outrace Perez, but Max had to become the guy in between. He had to be number 2 today. He had to take the second place. Give Perez that free run of clean air. Let Perez build a gap. That was going to be enough pressure for Ferrari on itself. Whether they were going to bring Sainz into play or do what, whether they were going to try and mimic Red Bull. If Perez was able to build a buffer of maybe 10 seconds and Max holding back Leclerc, I'm sure Ferrari would have lost. But Red Bull's strategy was just on Max getting the 15 wins, but it wasn't centered on Perez getting the championship. Because bringing him in and saying to him, race through the field to get to there on a set of hard tires. Yes, he was catching up, but the probability on a set of hard tires of him getting there was low. It was a 50-50 thing that they put into play. But if they had pushed him maybe and allowed him to get to a point whereby he had medium tires, because you could see from the medium tire performance from Russell, Sainz, and Lando, that performance was, they had more power. Knowing that Red Bull car, he could have powered through and gotten to where Leclerc was if they'd stopped later. So basically, Red Bull didn't have, from my own perspective, they didn't have Perez in. They didn't have anything for Perez. They didn't have him in their mind.
All right.
Can
So
I just
thanks.
add on to that? Can I
Thanks,
just
Sumi.
add on to that?
Who's that?
It's
Is that
Sumi.
Sumi? Hey, what's up, Sumi?
Yeah.
Go on.
I agree. I agree with what the Rogue One is saying, but it was just this was actually a perfect opportunity for Red Bull to not just secure themselves a 1-2, but it would have been a great reversal or like a good PR move for them to actually make Max look better to the fan base that he's now lost, right? Wait,
No, it
hear
wouldn't.
me out.
No, it wouldn't.
Hear me
It
out
wouldn't.
though, because if he had played team, they would have gained something there on just on the PR, and then even on, oh, look at him, he's actually helped Perez in the next race, etc., etc.
I disagree.
So they lost their own opportunity there. It's their loss. I don't give a shit about Red Bull, to be quite honest, but it's their loss. I'm happy Charles won, but I don't give a shit about Red Bull. But that whole conversation about, what was it just before that we were harping on about, had Max helped and blah, 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 the 2 points. Again, like, we're all talking about hypotheticals here, but how can we not understand that if you came into a race leading, your whole strategy could be entirely different? I don't understand how that point was lost, but anyway, I don't want to bring that up again. But yeah, definitely agree that Red Bull could have done something more, but it just shows you how much they didn't want to help or prioritize Perez at all, which it was never their priority, and it's probably because they don't want Perez to come P2, because then they got to pay him more.
Yeah, there's probably bonus. But I disagree.
Yeah.
I disagree
No,
in the
but I
sense
have
that.
another
Hold on,
point,
Varun.
Tanis,
Let me
about
hold on.
Perez P2 as
Let me
well.
just quickly.
Why don't you think that's a good PR move? Like, I wouldn't see it. I'd see right
Because
through it, but
because exactly that. It's exactly that. Everybody would have seen through it. That
not
it
everybody
wasn't.
though, Thanos. Like, people
Yes,
like us would
No,
see right through
Tanis,
it.
listen,
tweeted.
just give me a second.
Hold on, Varun. I literally tweeted yesterday that the opportunity Brazil was the opportunity for Max to have shown that he
That's
was
true.
a team. What they did yesterday in qualifying was nothing but performative bullshit for optics, for people to know
the
to say,
teammate, whatever that was about.
Max is willing. Max didn't help Perez because he genuinely wanted to help him. He did it because of what happened.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Because the media basically came out and said, "You dude, you're an asshole." Straight up, you've already won the championship, and you basically put yourself over your team and disadvantage your teammate when your teammate is trying to get to P2.
For Max to be booed as well,
huh?
For Max to be booed in a place like Abu Dhabi is very telling, right? Like, I'll tell you from my experience, like, Arab countries in general are very much more pro, Max, then they would be pro Lewis. So I was really surprised to see that's how the crowd was swaying. So he's really lost a lot of support. Like whoever he has now is purely going to be that core sort of Dutch fan base that he's got.
It was anything they did, like I said, the time for him,
Okay,
to have
Thanos,
done that would have been last week. Go on, Varun.
no, but so there are two things about this Brazil Perez and then the Perez situation. So firstly, if Max helped him and Perez lost it anyway, it would have been more telling that he tried all that he could, and he still
Mm-hmm.
lost it, right? Like then he gets away with it. So firstly, that part's not true. So he in the moment that he could have helped, regardless of what the outcome would have been or not, he did not help him, and then he chooses to fuck over Checo, right? The next part is given how far this car was. RB18 is one of the best cars the F1 has ever seen, right? Like there have been many cars made by Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, and Red Bull, and it has been one of the best cars ever. Given how far ahead they were, and the fact that Red Bull has never been one to, shows that the type of second drivers that they hire. They hire drivers that their golden child could easily dunk on, and that's their marketing tool. That look how far ahead he's ahead of their teammate. Because if you give equal equipment, if you give things equally to both drivers, then it changes the perspective of how it could work out for them. And people don't actually dive into the details of what equipment both of them have been given in the past and how they have been dealing with all of this, but it shows what their second driver program is and how uh,
It's literally
impactful it
written
is.
in the contract. It's literally
Yeah,
written in
and
the
how
contract at this
impactful it
point.
is that
Yeah. Like,
even with a super fast car, you cannot be P2.
yeah, you can't. But can I just say also, I wasn't in the spaces last week with the Brazil stuff, but
Damn.
also, yeah, no, it was too late for me. But also,
Oh no, something else. No,
no,
go on,
no,
sorry.
I thought you were talking to me. With what was I going to say? With Max last week and that whole drama with Checo, I think it's really telling that as soon as he has an incident with Lewis or any type of wheel to wheel with Lewis, it's almost like all of his reasoning, all of his true colors just comes like spilling out. Like he cannot control it. And all of that whole year of, oh, he's maturing and oh, he's look how good he is on the radio and blah, 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 just went straight out the window. And I really, really believe that was just because that whole Checo incident happened and boiled over, all because of his incident with Lewis at the start. And I think had he not had that with Lewis at the start, I don't know if he would have still given up a position. He probably wouldn't have, but I don't think he would have been as nasty as he was on the radio. That's just my 2 cents.
All right, then cool. Thanks, Sumi. E, are you here now?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Earlier I couldn't press on mute for some reason. I had to
Okay,
pass
go
on.
on. What's up?
But I slightly agree with you, but Cameron's right at the same time. And like, obviously Brazil. Like, I have to be honest. Like, Max was wrong in it. He should have given that position back. Granted that he didn't get in front of Ocon or Alonso, whoever it was. But for you to say that if Perez came in with like a 2-point lead, things would have been different. I don't think they would have been different. I think it would have been exactly the same. I think Red Bull, I don't know why they did that strategy for Checo, to be honest. A bit of a dumb one, but and I don't know who said this earlier, but someone said Max should have kind of guided Red Bull. He should have gave Checo the lead or something. Like, no, it doesn't work. You can't just give someone a win. Checo didn't start on pole.
Why can't you just give someone a win?
What do you mean give someone a win?
We've seen people giving win before. What are you talking about?
What are you give a teammate a win for? To get second place? Like, what is this?
Can I say?
But
I don't understand what you guys want him to do. Do you want him to bow down and be like, "Oh, Checo, I'm so sorry, he's here, take this win"? Like, no, it doesn't work.
But
I think
what you're
that was the
talking
rogue
about.
one. Hold on, Varun. I think that was the rogue one. I think his actual argument was swap positions with Perez and Max. Give Perez the opportunity to build a gap. So basically, Max pushed Perez, so they build themselves a good enough gap to Charles. And at some later point in the race, they can swap the positions back around.
But Thanos,
But
he
then
couldn't even catch. He couldn't catch Max. Max was 2 seconds ahead in like lap 2.
Can I come in, Cameroon?
What do you guys mean? Let him build a gap.
Cameroon.
Like, I don't get
Cameroon.
it.
Go on,
Cameroon.
the Rogue One.
You see, when they did go back to the time that they did the tire changes, it was Perez who came in first, then Max came in later. Max, if you look at it, came in 2 seconds ahead of Perez. What Max would have done is given Perez the opportunity to pass. And then Max was supposed to be the buffer. Because the moment that Max was in between Perez and Leclerc, Ferrari had no option but actually to change their strategy because they knew that Max was defending. You understand? The challenge, if you look at what Perez suffered, Perez's tires suffered from overheating because of the air coming from Max's car. You understand? That's why they put him in. That's why he was losing performance. So if he had a space of clean air, the reason why Max was able to push hard was because he was having more clean air. If Perez were at that opportunity, you would easily have built a 5 to 10 second gap. And then later on in the race, since Max is a better driver, he could have caught up and gotten the number 1. But they would have already messed up the Ferrari strategy. Because Ferrari, the moment that there is Max in between, Ferrari would be forced to say, okay, are we on a 1-stopper or on a 2-stopper? That's my thinking.
Fair. But I still don't understand this whole thing.
Irrespective of what Red Bull screwed up the strategy and
No, they did. 100% they did. They shouldn't have pitted him.
It's that simple. Max screwed up in Brazil. We can't absolve him of anything.
No, but if they screwed up the strategy today, how do you not see that they don't get criticized the same amount?
He helped him yesterday, though. He gave him a nice
Red
Bull,
he gave him a lovely
fuck up the strategy and they don't get
Thanos, I beg you 2 seconds, Thanos.
All right, hold on, Ian. Put yourself on mute. Go on, Cameron.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to the Max Verstappen should have yielded and let Checo Perez go on. I think that's absolutely outrageous. That's not the way that this team orders works, right? If the person behind is quicker, then it makes more sense. It's more efficient for the team, for the person behind with the speed to go in front, because then you maximise the overall outcome for the team. Sergio Checo Perez came on the pit radio talking about he's holding me up, but he was 2.3 seconds down the road from Max Verstappen. What are you talking about, Checo Perez? The timing delta between the two made a liar of Don Checo, and I like Checo more than most, but that's not the case, bruv. All weekend, Max Verstappen had just been breaking your ass, even in qualifying. Look at that now, with a toe. With half a toe or a quarter of a toe. It wasn't the best toe, but it wasn't a toe nevertheless. Even with a toe, you couldn't get close to Max Verstappen sans toe with no toe whatsoever. So all that stuff that Checo Perez is talking, I think we call bull feathers on that fella.
Thanos, can I reply? Can I reply, Thanos?
Yeah. You got to reply, and then I'm going to give someone else the mic, because there are other people in here.
All right. Cameron, if you look at the whole thing with these ground defect cars, most of them, the tires suffer overheating if you're traveling, if you are behind someone. You understand? Even if you have a slipstream, you can't keep on remaining in somebody's slipstream for quite long. The reason why Checo was saying Max is holding me back, you are saying Max, push forward. I want a breath of clean air between you and I. You understand? The reason why Max was able to build those gaps is because he has more clean air and his tires are able to cool and his brakes are getting clean air, which is cooler, compared to when Perez was 2 seconds behind. Check out every driver who stays longer behind another car. You find that their brakes over, the engineer will start saying, can you pull back? Your brakes and your tires are suffering. So that's the thing that I'm saying, that Max should have allowed Perez more clean air. If Max was going to pull out before Leclerc was in the shadow, in the mirrors for Perez to see Leclerc in the mirrors, it would have been a different situation. But in this situation, Red Bull had to make that switch. Give Perez time to go ahead. Max would follow and overtake.
Anyway, Perez lost P2 in the championship because of what happened last week. It's that simple. It's not because of today. It's because of what happened last week. So I'm gonna
No,
move on.
but you have to also ask, right? Why do they hire? Because in a car that fast, he should have sealed the championship a long time ago, right? The P2 should have been his a long time ago. Why do Red Bull have a trend of having drivers which
What bums?
cannot, which the
but
second
but but
drivers which
but
cannot actually keep up?
question is the
What
main
bums?
question is how is there so much of performance difference between both the cars?
Yeah.
I mean,
Checo's just not that good, isn't it?
No,
you
but
didn't even see
I think they
that
also
sort of
give them
level
unequal
between.
parts in the past. The floor isn't made yet. We do not have the budget to make that one yet. There are different parts on different cars,
I
and all
but
the time.
even if you look at Mercedes over the course of the years, the championships they've won, even with Valtteri and Lewis, Valtteri would always compete with Lewis in terms of at least pole positions. When Valtteri would take his one of his occasional wins and maybe able to consolidate all his poles or most of his poles into wins. There would always be like Lewis would win lots of races and some races where he would struggle with with crashes or collisions, etc. Valtteri would, being on pole, he would usually go and make up and get the wins. But this time the thing is that Perez doesn't even challenge Max for poles. I don't think Perez. I think how many poles does Perez have? One, maybe
I
two
think you
this
got two, I think.
two poles this year,
Oh,
and
maybe one. No, it's one. It's one. Because
one
Red Bull
pole
already have 8 poles. Yeah, it's only
one
one.
pole this year, and the performance between both the cars is like so big, so big. It's like Max's car has all the good parts and everything, and Checo is not even getting all the resources. There can't be such a huge difference. Even Joe Guan Yu and Bottas, they are able to race each other. Even Alfa Romeo have two similar cars. You look at other teams; they have similar cars. Science is now in the second half of the season. Science started to also get better of Leclerc at couple of occasions. But when you talk about Red Bull, the difference between both of them in terms of the performance of the car, the time Max is able to extract in one lap out of his car compared to Checo being able to get the lap out of
And
his car.
everybody called Perez up, and everybody called Bottas a bum. But hey, Bottas has finished P2 in the championship, and Mercedes has the best car. So
Yeah,
what can
exactly.
I say? You know what I mean? Bottas. Everybody said Bottas is a bum, but Bottas. What is it? His first season at Mercedes, he finished what in the championship? P3, I think he finished in 2017. Was it
Yeah,
P3?
yeah.
P3. 2018 was his worst season, so he went P3,
He went.
P6,
No, he went
P6
P3, P5. I think he wasn't.
in 2018. Then 2019 he went P3. I think he went P3 or P2. I can't remember.
No,
P2
But
he went
was P2.
P2. 2020 he went P2. 2021 he went P3.
2020,
so he
2020 got very lucky though. Very, very
whatever,
lucky.
dude. He finished
In
P2,
a fast
P2.
superior car, Verstappen was only a few points off.
Nah, man.
And he finished
There's
P2.
something
He
really
finished
messed up
P2.
with the
What's your
car
point?
there.
What's your point? He finished P2 in the championship. So
Yeah,
what we're saying is when Mercedes had the dominant car, both their drivers finished 1-2 in the championship. Red Bull has won now 5 drivers' title. I ain't even counting last year because we all know that shit went. And they've never had a 1-2 finish. Never.
man, it's amazing.
Never.
Anyway,
What
I
does
think
that tell
Cameron
you?
wants to speak.
They employ bums as number 2 drivers. Anyway.
Perez is just not that good though, man. You guys are forgetting like who's going up against him. Like you guys, are, oh, why is
No,
it
but
so
if he's
different?
not
So
that good in it,
sorry.
everyone
Hold
knows
on,
that.
Like
hold on.
he's
Why is he
just not
hired?
that guy. Like,
Let me have a go at E. Let me have a go at E. What did you just say a while ago? Perez is going up against what?
he's gonna get some extra stuff, and like it's not easy.
Bottas was
Same thing.
going up against.
Same thing against when you're going up against Lewis Hamilton. Like it's not easy. Like you can't just say, "Oh,
No,
why is
it's
it so
not
so
easy,
big?
but
Why is it so different?" Like, come on.
he has not shown at no
You
point this
remember
season.
in the first
Hold
4
on,
races, it
Varun, let me
was
finish.
so far closer, right?
Varun, you cut me off. At no point this season, did you see a race where Perez was genuinely quicker than Max, and you think he can genuinely beat Max on pace? None. Absolutely.
Probably Monaco. That Monaco
no.
weekend. Obviously, he
No.
did a mad thing in it in quali. But
Can't
that whole
be
weekend, he was slapping him up.
cars are same. You can't say
He
both are the
was. That whole weekend he was. FP1, FP2. Like, he was touching Max up.
Anyway, touching Max up, dude. That sounds a bit perverted.
Yeah, so, of course.
That sounds foul and stuff. All right. Who have I got? Situnge, I've got your hands up. What's up?
Hi guys.
What's up? Go
I'm
on.
just glad that the season is over now. You know what I mean? It's just finally the season has it's just done and dusted. You know what I mean? And it was such a fitting way to end the season with just some sheer bad luck, because you understand we had Russell beat, and then come the end of the race, oh, it's a hydraulic issue. And therefore, Russell scores more points than our guy did. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just glad that it's over, because, you know, Lewis sacrificed the first half of the season just so the car could be better. And then Russell ends up like benefiting from that. In Hungary, also Zandvoort, if you want to take it that far. And then Brazil as well.
Not just there.
It's just so wild, man.
You could go back before then. You could go back to Australia.
Australia,
Miami,
Saudi Arabia.
So I mean, it's one of those seasons that, as pissed off and as angry as I am,
yeah,
I just look at it like, you know what, shit happens.
It is what it is.
Sport.
Because
this is the beauty. This is why sport is a beautiful thing, because
it's
one
subjective, man.
You could be at the top of the world, and tomorrow you're at the bottom. There's no such thing as guaranteed success in any sporting arena. You have to earn that shit, and that's why we love it. It was
true.
Bad year for Lewis. We just have to take. We have to eat it.
And listen, Thanos, because Thanos, listen, because so many times his detractors will always say, "Oh, Lewis doesn't know how to develop a car, whatnot." He developed a car so that Russell could win this season.
No, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do?
He developed that W13 so that Russell could benefit from his experiments.
Here's what we're gonna do. Everybody said.
What are you gonna do?
Everybody said the cars that he won the championship with were developed by Michael Schumacher. So I'm blaming Michael Schumacher for this piss ass W13. This is a Michael Schumacher car.
Hey, come on, man, that's too far.
This has no. What do you mean too far?
It's got nothing to do with him.
Because if Michael is gonna get take the credit for Lewis's success, he should also take the blame for his failures.
He developed this car from the coma.
Exactly. So if this
what the fuck?
Michael's fault. What?
Just by umoya, just by energy, you know what I mean? So it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
What the fuck?
Because I'm just glad that the season is over, man. I'm just glad the season is over, because clearly now Mercedes might have a direction going forward, and we just have to end this thing where the straights are such a big problem for the car. You know what I mean? Where we stop being sitting ducks in the straights. You know, because losing 5/10 in a straight is just unacceptable. You understand what I'm saying? And
but we saw that in previous years where they've, against the Ferrari in 2018 and 19, they were losing similar times.
It wasn't. It wasn't half a second though, was it? Or more?
It was even more sometimes. So, but the corners
half a second or more.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you go back and look at Spa.
No way, man. I remember it differently than you guys do.
Go look at Spa. Go look at Spa 2019 and look how much time they lost on the straight. But what negated that time loss? They made it more time in the corners.
That's why you didn't notice.
That's it. Because what's happened to them? If you look at the Mercedes performance to the Red Bull in terms of corners, the time lost to the Red Bulls in the corners is basically around a tenth. It's a very small margin. So that half a second that they're losing on the straight